Game 3 of this MISL Western Division semifinal series featured a remarkable comeback by the Kansas City Comets. Down by 3 goals at halftime, KC stormed back with 7 second-half goals to beat San Diego 9-7. On to Game 4 last Sunday in San Diego, and the defending champion Sockers were facing elimination. Bronco Segota, the team's leading playoff scorer, set the tempo early, putting San Diego ahead in the first minute and boosting the fading hopes of the Sockers faithful. It would be a physical game with a series-high 23 minutes in penalties, and it would be especially costly to the Sockers, who've lost high-scoring forward Hugo Perez for the series with a shoulder injury. But the Sockers' string of 5 straight championships would not be snapped on this night. Julie V's power play goal would stand up as the game winner. The Sockers won the contest by a 5-2 final, setting up tonight's finale with the winner moving on to meet Steve Jungle and the Tacoma Stars. Tonight, Prime Ticket continues its coverage of the 1987 MISL playoffs as we present the deciding game between the San Diego Sockers and the Kansas City Comets.
It's time now for exciting major indoor soccer league action featuring the 5-time indoor champions, the San Diego Sockers. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Budweiser, Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By Kemper Mutual Funds. There's never a bad time to make a good investment. And by Travelodge, offering the best value in lodging. And now, here's the voice of the Sockers, Randy Hahn.
From the Kemper Arena in Kansas City, Missouri, Prime Ticket presents the 1987 Major Indoor Soccer League playoffs. Tonight, it's the deciding game of the Western Division semifinals as the San Diego Sockers meet the Kansas City Comets. Hello again, everyone. I'm Randy Hahn. Welcome to our live simulcast here on the Prime Ticket Network and on radio throughout Southern California on 69 Extra Gold. And once again, joining us as our expert color commentator is Bill McDonald. And Bill, after Game 3, when the Sockers lost that big lead and went down 2-1 in this series, a lot of people wrote them off, but they're back here for that deciding game.
Well, the desire was definitely back for game number 4 for the Sockers. They came away with the big win. Now tonight, probably the biggest game in the Kansas City Comets history. During their playoff history, they've never gotten past this point. For the Sockers, I really think the strategy is simple: stay out of trouble. Penalties have just killed them. The Kansas City power play has converted 7 out of 13 chances so far.
Well, I guess when you get to the big game like this, you go with what got you this far, and what got the Kansas City Comets this far in large part has been the play of Jan Goossens, their outstanding Dutch forward. He's had a great playoff.
Oh, the Goose has been flying, not only in the playoffs, but the regular season. The number 2 scorer during the regular season in the Major Indoor Soccer League. He's got a fantastic streak going right now. He scored a point in all 49 games that he's played in this year. That's regular season and the playoffs. He's been almost a one-man gang as far as Kansas City's been concerned during this playoff. I think if Kansas City is going to come away with a victory here tonight, Goose has got to get some help from his other great forwards up front.
Well, for the San Diego Sockers, the best news of this playoff round has been the return of Bronco Segota. In only 2 games, he's taken over the playoff scoring lead.
Oh, that he has. A lot of people consider Bronco the best player in the Major Indoor Soccer League. No argument here. He is something special. And Bronco, I think, really half the battle was won with him when he did not play during this playoff series with that special mask that was made to protect his face. So all we were really concerned about was whether Bronco would be physically fit to play. I think his performance in these last 2 games has answered that question. He is ready to lead the Sockers.
Well, a very important factor to point out, too, as we head into this deciding game. Zoltan Toth will start in goal for San Diego. It was Jim Gorsick's turn, but Toth was so hot in Game 4 that Ron Newman is going with the player he thinks is the hottest of the 2. Let's get you caught up now on the rest of the playoff picture around the Major Indoor Soccer League. And as you likely know by now, the Tacoma Stars are just waiting for the outcome of this series. They've already eliminated Wichita 3-2 in that best of 5, and will play the winner of this series. In the East, one of the 2 series has also been decided. That was last night. Cleveland emerging a 3-2 winner in that best of 5. They await the winner of Dallas-Baltimore. They will play tomorrow in Baltimore. All of the playoff series this season have gone to 5 games. It's been an exciting playoff year so far, Bill.
Absolutely could have been scripted any better by Bill Kentling in the Major Indoor Soccer League with all the series going to 5. It's been something special. Let's hope that the next round is equally as good.
Well, we've got an exciting one for you tonight, the deciding game between the Sockers and the Comets. And we'll be back with the opening kickoff here on the Prime Ticket Network in just a moment. Surrounded by water on beautiful Shelter Island in San Diego, the Kona Kai Beach and Tennis Resort offers an atmosphere enjoyed by families and business people alike. Relax by the pool underneath the Southern California sun or in one of the many comfortable suites. Located just minutes from the airport, the Kona Kai features 18,000 square feet of versatile meeting and banquet facilities. Enjoy breathtaking views of San Diego while dining in the restaurant adjacent to the marina. The Kona Kai Beach and Tennis Resort on beautiful Shelter Island in San Diego.
Howdy. Give me a light. Bud Light.
If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name it tastes, don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light. Bud Light.
Ask for Bud Light, because everything else is just a light.
Hi. Oh. Buy your friend a beer.
Are we in there yet? We're almost there. I'm gonna go swimming. Wow, me too. We're almost there. Honey, did you call Travel Lodge?
Of course.
Oh, this is what I call fun.
For fun along the Sunbelt from coast to coast, Travel Lodge, wherever you go, or for friends and family who come to visit. Call this toll-free number now for reservations and super saver rates that'll keep the whole family singing.
Travel Lodge. Travel Lodge.
You know, most people think of me as a guy who knows a lot about the history of rock and roll. Well, we've all grown up with rock and roll. That's why when I'm in San Diego, for me, there's only one radio station that plays the best classic oldies, 69 Extra Gold. On 69 Extra Gold, their record library is so large that you'll never hear them play the same song twice on the same day. Listen to 69 Extra Gold, San Diego's original classic oldies station.
690 AM, 69 Extra Gold.
We're live at Kemper Arena in Kansas City, Missouri, as we get set for Game 5 of this best-of-5 series between the Sockers and the Kansas City Comets.
Let's take a look at the refereeing crew working tonight's game. Same crew that we saw in game number 4 in San Diego. DiPolito and Silva will be working the floor, and Casey Frankowitz will be in the box. And Dave Clements of Kansas City had some harsh words to say about those two gentlemen. We'll see if some of that bad blood spills over into this evening's game number 5. San Diego Sockers looking for their 6th indoor title in succession, and well, once again they'll be facing elimination here in game number 5, and they've had some tremendous success over the years when they've been facing elimination. They're undefeated, 6-0 in playoff history, and so the tradition attempts to continue here tonight. In goal for Kansas City, the helmeted one, Alan Mayer. He's been in goal for every contest in this best-of-5. He's 2-2, as you see, 4.42 goals against average, and it's Jimmy Gorsuch's turn for San Diego, but it's going to be Zoltan Toth in goal for the Sockers. Toth very, very hot in game number 4, so Ron Newman in this deciding game decided to go with Zoli. He's 1-1, 4.05 goals against average in this playoff series, 2-1 lifetime versus the Comets in the playoffs. Starting lineups for tonight's game number 5. For the Sockers in front of Toth, Schmetzer and Clavillo defensively. Schmetzer coming back off of an injury. Quinn, Segota, and V up front. In front of Mayer, Kalia, Fraser, Green, Goosens, and Mitchell. About as even as you can get between these two teams. Counting the playoffs in the regular season, each team has won 5, and each team scored 43 goals. We're set up for a great game number 5.
And we are underway, and from the kickoff, Sockers play it deep into the Kansas City zone to our left. The ball's kicked out by Alan Mayer, and it'll come back in. Sockers on the kick-in. San Diego, for our radio listeners, defending the goal to our right and attacking right to left. And the Sockers wearing what in essence are their home uniforms on the road. Their white jerseys, navy shorts, and gold socks, their score uniforms from American Soccer Supply. Dave Clements, head coach of the Comets. What a turnaround it's been since he came on the scene midway through the season. From the restart, it's played by Wilrich from the San Diego attacking zone all the way back to Toth in front of his goal, and now Clavillo has it at center.
It's going to be interesting to see if the Sockers take it right to Kansas City. This is a game number 5 situation. The Comets never gotten past this point in the playoffs in their history. It's going to be interesting to see whether they come come out playing a bit scared. I thought they played a bit tentative in game number 4. I don't know if they're the closing team that Dave Clements wants them to be.
Comets with a good line change there. Almost sent Mitchell in on a break, but the Sockers defense stands tough in midfield, and now Segota gets it at his own red line. Segota with 7 points in 2 games since coming back off the long layoff due to the fractured cheekbone, and what a difference he has made, sparking this San Diego offense, which was dormant, really, through much of the season with injuries to Segota, Quinn, and Perez. Broke it up in the San Diego attack zone, and the Comets will bring it back to center. This is Charlie Green, the hero of game 2 with a pair of goals, knocked away from him by Schmetzer. Schmetzer's first touch of the ball since his long layoff with injury, and ironically, Schmetzer was injured in that same game that Segota fractured his cheekbone. Getting those two back in the playoffs is really a bonus. There was a lot of thought Schmetzer wouldn't come back. Here's V, starting out at his own red line as the Sockers break it up in front of Zoltan Toth. Segota ahead for Wilrich. Back to Bronco on the right point. A long shot, he scores! Wow! What a goal by Segota to set the pace here in period 1.
That's 3 games in a row that Bronco has broken the ice. And San Diego on the path that brought them victory in game number 4. Segota scoring here with just 1:28 gone in the contest. And Alan Mayer may be showing some nerves. That was a long prayer from way outside, but Bronco can hit him with the best of them. Here we see it from behind the Kansas City goal. It's out in front, and Segota will get the ball after it comes off of Cacho. He just lets fly, and it's actually deflected past Alan Mayer. So it's deflected off of a Kansas City defender. Segota will get credit for the goal. Bronco has been just sensational in the playoffs, led the Sockers in regular season scoring, 75 points despite being injured much of the year, and already in only 3 playoff games, actually 2 plus a little bit of change, he's the leading scorer for the Sockers in the playoffs. San Diego on top by a goal.
And a particularly important goal here in Kansas City. In the prior 2 games of the series played here, the Comets scored first, and the team split. Here's Cacho now on the attack as the Comets will try and even it. We are early on live here in the first period. Cacho gets a shot on Zoltan Toth. Now with help from his defense, Toth gets it back, and the Sockers also draw the first Kansas City foul of the game. The scoring play, Bronco Segota gets it from B at 1:28, and Segota now with 8 playoff points, but here's Kutsikis tying it up. Comets get it right back, and Zoltan Toth having some words with his defense after that play, and the man they're pointing at is Katakalides, but we're tied at 1.
Giveaway cost the Sockers, and that's what you don't want to do. After scoring a goal, you've got to effectively shut the other team down. Here's San Diego, just a bit of a mix-up, and Brian Quinn will just lose it to Kutsikis. Toth comes out to cut down the angle. Not much he can do about it. There'll be some talk between the Sockers on whose fault that was. When you just look at it, it would appear to be Quinn's. However, it could have been miscommunication between Katakalides and Quinn when the pass went to Brian. Nonetheless, Kutsikis, his 12th career playoff goal, and that's a big one for the Comets, coming right back into it after having an unfortunate one scored against them. We're 1-1, 13:02 to play here in the first.
Comes just 28 seconds after the goal by Segota, and we're tied at 1 now. From the kickoff, it is Quinn who gave it up there in front of the goal. I thought Katakalides might have had a chance to stop that ball. It was not going all that fast, but he had just turned the wrong way and couldn't get to it. Here's Quinn out of the corner trying to blast it past the defense toward the goal. It comes back out to midfield for Katakalides. We are live on the simulcast in the first period, 1-1. Katakalides' shot, and that just about got between Alan Mayer's legs, and Mayer looks a little shaky in this first period. That was not a difficult ball.
He looks very, very shaky. Of course, this is his old team. San Diego wants to do well.
Hits the glass above the crossbar. Down to Quinn, and it's tackled away by Jens Boost, and now Marhenek sidestepping a tackle from Schmetzer, loses it, has Quinn open on the right. Here's Bryan, across for Hermes, didn't get there. Espinoza knocks it away, and it comes in the air to Kevin Crowe.
Quinn still got to look for the shot. He's been shying away from it. He's got to come out and have that confidence. That time it appeared he might have made a step or two one way or another, getting the ball near the corner of the box, but he wasn't thinking shot. He was thinking pass.
1-1 to score live in the first period here in Game 5. One of these teams will go to Tacoma tomorrow to face the Stars, and the other will go to the golf course for the summer. Here's Kevin Crowe back on defense and up for Gene Wilrich. That last scoring play, Kutsikis, his second of the playoffs, unassisted at 1:56. Sockers send it in long for Ladouceur, but it's played nicely off the wall by George Espinoza. And now Dale Mitchell with it in the back. He's double teamed, knocked away by Ladouceur. Here's Segura to the front of the box. Good defense there by Ian Fraser, but Crow will head it right back in on the clearing ball. Here's Wilrich into the right corner, throws the shoulder into Charlie Green. Foul called against San Diego.
As expected, Sockers coming out playing high pressure, trying to take advantage of a possible weak defensive link in the Kansas City attack that's bringing the ball up from the back. Remember, Gino Schiraldi is not in uniform again due to an injury, and he might just be their best offensive defender. So the Sox putting the pressure on.
Here's Goossens, right side, deep into the corner. Sockers watching him closely. Schmetzer, good play, but it comes back to Green. In front through Goossens' legs. We have a whistle. Foul, San Diego. Tough place to take a foul as Green picks himself up off the carpet. Comets will have a free kick from 45 feet out inside the San Diego zone.
We were speaking of injuries quickly. Charlie Ficus not suited up tonight. That's a coach's decision. Jaramina in place of him.
Jaramina's been out for some time, hasn't played in the playoffs so far, and hasn't played tonight. Here's Clark, right side. The shot off the free kick hit Ladouceur. Handball now against Green as he tried to trap it in the attacking zone, and that's the second Comet foul. So the team's even with a pair of fouls each.
Well, we want to reiterate the point that the Sockers have to stay away from penalties, whether be it by 6 fouls or just a 2-minute variety by just getting one in the field of play. Really, the Kansas City power play has killed them. 7 out of 13 so far in the playoffs.
Here's V. He's got Clavillo, and we have a whistle. And a foul against the Comets. Sockers may have preferred advantage there with Clavillo breaking toward the net. Here's Wilrich into the corner for V. He operates well out of here. Shoots and hits it just wide. Segura after it in the corner. And a foul called against Bronco, pushing off Tim Clark. And I'll tell you, the officials likely had a word with Bill Kentling, the commissioner, before the game. He talked to the coaches before tonight, and I think he may have said something to the officials because they're calling it very close.
We're going to get a chance to talk. Well, we did talk before the game to Bill Kentling about what he said to those two coaches. You're going to hear that a little bit later, but he basically sent out a directive to both clubs concerning conduct of players and coaches for tonight's game. Says, hey, let's play soccer, forget all the funny stuff.
All even up at 1 here in the first period. Live on the simulcast on Prime Ticket and Extra. Here is Marhetic down the left wing side. Clavillo, the all-star defender, knocks it out to the red line. Now a bad ball by Fraser, a breakaway for Segura. This is a nightmare. Now the Fraser gets back, but Segura's to the front of the box. Alan Mayer out to cut off the angle, and Jaramina, the forward, back to defend, and Segura never does get a shot on goal. Boy, the Comets recovered from that well.
Yeah, it was great patience, however, by Bronco. He never had a shot, and by the time that he did have a shot on goal, there were 4 Comets back defensively to cover up.
Hard tackle by Fraser on Segura, and a free kick San Diego from 30 feet out. Quick play by V, and now they'll bring it back a little too quick.
7-2 versus Kansas City in playoff history. San Diego enjoying much success. And, of course, the only 2 losses were in this series. So Kansas City, of course, this is a brand-new bunch of guys and some great chemistry going under Dave Clements.
Here's V, left side, top of the box. Catacolita shot way wide. Goes after the rebound. Katsoukas takes it to the wall and brings it up the wing. He's got Jaramina at center. Crow back on defense. Kevin steps in front of Jaramina, knocks it free. And this is Julie V. V turning toward his own goal, now plays it off to Crow. Soccer's confident playing those dangerous type passes. They look dangerous to us, but they have so many skilled players. They're confident making them even in their own zone.
And another thing is they played together so very long. They know each other's moves. That's one of the advantages of not changing your roster year after year.
Off the wall to V, can't get the shot off. Cacho was there. Julie still holding it, looking for the pass in the box for Segura. No whistle. Now there is as V retaliates after being hauled down by Cacho.
Well, referees not playing favorites so far. Each team with 4 fouls and still 9-12 to play. So whistle-happy first quarter. It would appear that both teams headed for the 6th foul.
I think the officials want to set the tone. I don't expect the kind of rough game we had in Game 4. Shot from the outside by Jaramina. His first shot of the game, and we look to see just how fit he is after the injury layoff. Now it's Quinn at the red line. 8:52 to go in the first period. We're tied at 1. Here's Hermes. Had the hat trick in Game 1. Shoots it wide, looking for Diego Pesha. Pesha, a player who has been held without a point so far in the playoffs. Sockers desperately need some production out of him. Quinn, a chip for Perez as he making Hermes as he ran across the front of the penalty area. And the Comets will get it back.
Another player who's been relatively quiet since game number 1, Juan Hermes, who was on a big streak towards the end of the year, had that big game in number 1, and he plays very, very well in this arena.
Collier, the chip from center, looks for Mitchell. He'll chest it down neatly as it comes off the glass in the left corner. Now he pokes it free, trying to get around Kevin steps onto the field and takes it at center. He scored a shorthanded goal earlier in this series against the Comets. Feeds it to Pesha. Diego very good at holding the ball and passing off. Gets it to Segota. Good hard defense by Clark. Segota hauls him down after the foul. It'll go against Kansas City, but Segota's lucky he didn't get a penalty there for throwing an elbow at Clark after the whistle.
A lot of times during this series, the referees have seen the retaliation play. And there's Bronco just putting the clothesline on Clark. There, right there. You're very right. That could have been a 2-minute penalty, and Tim Clark apparently thought one would be called.
On the free kick, it's to the front of the box for Pesha. Mitchell trying to clear it. Had it go off Diego, and now a charging foul against Mitchell. And it's going to be 2 minutes to Dale Mitchell. Plus the sixth foul. This is devastating for Kansas City.
Right, you got to remember now, that was the sixth foul called on Mitchell, far side. And then he kicked the ball away from referee Herb Silva. So Mitchell will get 4 minutes, or rather that could be 2 separate penalties because of the sixth foul and the 2-minute descent. So the Sockers go up by 2 men.
Indeed it will. A 2-man power play coming up. Our score here in the first period, and we'll be back on the simulcast in just a moment. Score here in Game 5 on the Kobe Sports Arena Swap Meet scoreboard, and a wonderful opportunity has presented itself for the Sockers. They're about to go on a 2-man power play. We alluded to earlier that we had spoken with Commissioner Bill Kentling. He talked with Ron Newman and Dave Clemens, the respective coaches, before the game, and in a nutshell, here's what he told them.
It was a short meeting in which I made them the responsible adults on the bench for their respective teams in tonight's 5th game. And I mean that quite seriously. The coaches are responsible for the actions of the players. Tonight, there'll be no taunting, no dissent, no feigning of injury, no diving, and no cheap and silly fouls. I think we're going to see a great Game 5 of an already terrific series.
And that is Bill Kentling, the commissioner of the MISL, and right now it's a 1-man power play for the Sockers.
Well, Silva was going to call encroachment on that restoppage, rather when they stopped the ball. However, the play should have been stopped before, so that's why he did not call the 2-minute penalty on Kansas City. So it's only a 1-man.
So the Sockers on the power play now. They are 3 of 11 in this series on the man advantage. And the Comets have had a much better power play unit. Foul committed by Fraser in midfield on Wilrich. Fraser complaining that Gene had those sharp elbows up, but the foul goes against the Comets. Comets have done a pretty fair job penalty killing in this series, 72%. Sockers, as we mentioned, only 3 power play goals, so you know, what do you call it? A not-so-good power play or great penalty killing? Maybe a combination of the two. Ball on the inside board. Sockers still haven't had a chance to really set up this power play. They've got Wilrich, Hermes, Pesha, Cabana, and D out there. And now a foul in midfield against San Diego.
And that's their 5th. So one more, and they must put a man in the box. The key to the San Diego power play has to be one-touch passing. They had a beautiful power play goal in game number 4, converted by Julie V. That was really a power play that was reminiscent of the Sockers of old, how they moved the ball around very, very quickly. They've got to do that again here.
Now 1:20 left in the man advantage. We're live in the first period, tied at 1. Here's Wilrich, right side for V. Looks at Fraser, plays it back to his left for Wilrich. Lines up for the shot, deflects off Collier wide. Segota's rebound high and wide. V lays it off to Wilrich again in the high slot. Gene to his left. Segota steps into it. Far post and it's in. That went off a Comet, I believe, and it's 2-1 San Diego.
That went off of Gary Collier right upstairs over Alan Mayer. Segota just centered it into the center of the box, and Collier, protecting the far post, put it past his own goalkeeper. Power play goal for the Sockers. 6:50 to go in period number 1, and it's 2-1 San Diego. Segota shooting it through the legs of Espinoza, trying to find Hermes at the back post, and Gary Collier just putting his leg out to block it, and it goes upstairs. For those of you watching on the television portion of our simulcast, here it is again. Collier over the fallen goalkeeper, Alan Mayer. Segota centering it out in front. And Bronco will get credit for the goal, his 5th playoff goal, and his onslaught continues. Interestingly now, Bronco has 2 goals tonight, and both have deflected off of Kansas City defenders.
2-1 San Diego. We are still in the first period, live on the simulcast. Randy Hahn along with Bill McDonald. Game 5. The winner of this goes on to the division finals, and the loser calls it a season. Here's Goosen's right side, and he hit it for the far post, but Cacho a little late getting there. Now Cacho has it in the left corner, fighting off Namdar, fouls San Diego, and now the Comets get a power play. Well, I don't know about that foul right there, Bill. Cacho did there what Tattoo will often do, burrow his way through the boards and try and pick up a foul that way, and it worked.
Let's take a look at it. He's burrowing, and he's got his hand on Namdar's hip. And when he saw that he couldn't go down, the whistle was blown, and Cacho went down also, and Namdar just came away with a big smile. Sockers now will go down a man, and this has really been the trouble spot for the Sockers. Their penalty-killing unit. Once the mainstay of this team, the no-goal patrol, it has been hurting. And Kansas City has just been awesome on the power play. 7 for 13, as we mentioned earlier, 53.8%.
From the restart, the Comets score, and it's Koutsoukis. It's going to be one of those games. Back and forth, and it's 2-2.
Well, we barely got the words out of our mouths. The problems continue. And Kansas City does what you have to do in a big game like this, rebound after the other team scores, and immediately to get the momentum back on your side. And they did it with another power play goal. That's their 8th of the series. And the goal goes to Tasso Koutsoukis. Dale Mitchell will get the assist just 2 seconds into the power play. Tasso Koutsoukis' 3rd goal, as mentioned, in this playoff series.
So 2 players have done all the scoring. Segota for the Sockers, Koutsoukis for the Comets, and we're tied at 2. Here's Hermes deep for the Sockers now, and he's double-teamed trying to get to the ball. Brought out by the Comets and played to center, but it'll run past Marhetic, and Katakalitis will clear it to Zoltan Toth. Toth feeds it up the left wing for Tavio. Pressure from Bonchek. Tavio clears it back toward Katakalitis with 6 minutes left in the first period.
Interesting to see how Zoli Toth reacts to this now. He gets a little shaky sometimes when he allows some early goals.
Hermes down the right wing, shot it. Cacho blocked it. Watt using his body now, feeds it toward the goal. Pesha in front, can't squeeze it past Alan Mayer, and it's cleared by Clark out of play for Sockers kick-in.
Boy, this is up and down, and things are really shifting now. San Diego again putting the pressure on as teams will change lines.
On the old Del Mar Cafe scoreboard, 2-2. And it's ironic how this game has gone so far. Sockers score early. Comets come back 28 seconds later. Sockers score again, and the Comets come back 24 seconds later. Here's Quinn out of the right side, off the high part of the glass. Alan Mayer picks it out of the sky with Segota lurking around the far post. This is Collier now. Marhetic, watched by Brian Quinn, across the red line, feeds it to center, intercepted by Pesha. Segota now feeds it up the right wing. Pesha played it into the middle of the zone, but nobody there for San Diego. Mayer will pick up and drop it down for Koutsoukis.
Sockers playing 3 defenders when Kansas City brings it out of the back at the red line. Right now they have Quinn, Segota, and Ladouceur up with only Crow and Katakalitis back. That shows a lot of confidence in your defenders.
Giveaway in midfield. Ladouceur nearly gave it back, but it comes to Quinn. Up the right side for Katakalitis, who comes out of midfield. Back to Quinn. Off the glass, Ladouceur trying to trap it down for the shot, but Espinoza had position and got it back to Alan Mayer. Good defensive play there by Espinoza.
Somebody's going to have to pick up where Perez is not in right now. Perez, of course, out with that shoulder injury. Wilrich had a pretty good game in game number 4, and, of course, he could turn it on. He's one of the Sockers they're looking to for leadership.
Collier at the left point of the attacking zone now, bumps it back for Espinoza. Here's Collier again with 4:40 to go in the opening period. To Marhetic at the far boards. Back to Collier. Lobs it to the front of the box for Jaramina. Schmetzer fell. Jaramina off the wall. Crow trying to settle it for Zoltan Toth. Had a little trouble there. Marhetic came cruising through the box, but Toth will get it and feed it to midfield for Wilrich. Gene with Julie B on the right side plays it into the seats. I think Wilrich was trying to bank it off the high glass there, maybe curl it into the top part of the net, but it'll come back goal kick Comets. So with 4:21 left here in the first period, we have a break. At Kemper Arena, now let's pause for a moment so that our stations can... The Comets now. It's 2-2. We are live here on Prime Ticket and 69 Extra Gold Radio as Ian Fraser plays it to center for Jan Goosens. Goosens hasn't been in on the scoring yet. In fact, 2 players have done it all. Segota and Koutsoukis. So now a foul against the Comets in midfield, and that's their 8th of the period.
14 fouls combined for these 2 clubs so far here in the first quarter, so no rhythm to this game yet. And I think if it opens up a bit, tough to say who that would really be benefit. It used to be San Diego, but Kansas City has so much speed now. If it gets wide open, you could almost flip a coin to see who would have the best of it.
Nice ball to center for Mitchell. It was low by Tim Clark, and Mitchell was able to settle it right away. But Namdar, a good play, takes it away, and they'll call him for pushing off Mitchell. And Ron Newman over on the Sockers bench doesn't like that call at all.
Well, they are calling everything so very close, DiPolito and Silva. They do not want to get this away, and sometimes that can be a deterrent. We could be here a long time.
Plays in front of the box for Goosens. Goosens takes a dive, and the officials don't buy it. He really reacted late after that tackle by Namdar, and the officials, to their credit, saw it coming. Here's Woolrich, left wing, watched closely by Clark. These journeyman defenders have done a good job for Kansas City. Goosens pushed off the ball, gets it to center and beyond for Goosens, but it'll roll back for Zoltan Toth as both teams make changes on the go with 3:20 left in the first period.
Sockers forced to attack with just 4 people up because Jan Goosens, majority of the time, laying back in the neutral third.
Hermes lost it on a run down the left wing. Here's Goosens with Green. Steps into it for the shot, wide, and the rebound cleared by Pescia. Collier will settle it at the red line as the Comets continue the attack on the net to our right. Cacho trying to get through the San Diego line of defense up at the red line. He's brought down, and it's a 9th, or make it an 8th San Diego foul.
Zoli's reacting very slowly to those balls hit off the boards tonight. And if Kansas City keeps banging away, they may get a gimme out in front in the box. Watch for them to attack that board.
This is Cacho, left side now. We're tied at 2. He's got a good shot, lets it go. Off Pescia, down to center, and off Collier's arm. And now Collier is going to get a 2-minute penalty for bringing down Pescia in midfield. Collier was yellow carded in game 4, and now he's going to the penalty box here in this important game 5 as DiPolito calls the trip.
Collier giving him some lip service going off. He's got the band that signifies captain. So he's, I guess, giving carte blanche to do just that. Here it is, Pescia and Collier, and he just got his leg up. And really, that was almost as much of a dive as we've seen. However, Collier did get his leg up. That should have been dangerous play. I don't know what the exact penalty will be called. It's called tripping. Well, that wasn't much of a trip. It was more of a dangerous play on Gary Collier.
I thought it might have been a handball before that called against Collier. They let that go. Now the Sockers on the power play again. One of their 2 goals has come with the man advantage. Here's Woolrich to the left for Segota. He's 1 away from a hat trick, and we're still in the first period. Woolrich wide to the right for V. Julie winds and scores! And they're finding room at the roof of the net at both ends.
Yeah, going upstairs as the goalkeepers go down and make the reaction. Fans don't enjoy it. Of course, they're thinking back to the original call, and that was the first clean Sockers goal of the evening. Woolrich, the quarterback, setting it up beautifully to Julie V. Nobody's on Julie V. He's got all kinds of room, can set up and go upstairs. And Alan Mayer came out about 10 feet or so, and that one just was buried into the back of the net for Julie V, who continues his fine playoff play. 31st career goal in postseason action for Julie. 3-2 Sockers, 2.5 to go first quarter.
V, the 3rd leading scorer in MISL playoff history behind Segota and the number 1 man, Steve Jungle. All at one time, San Diego Sockers. 3-2 Sockers now, as V has 2 goals in the playoffs, and both of them on the power play.
Right now, the Sockers cannot give up another goal. Both times before this, Kansas City has come right back and scored, taking some wind out of the sails. Sox, if they can get out of this quarter, would be doing themselves a great service, up 3-2.
Cacho in the back for Kansas City to Koutsoukas now as the Comets try and figure out a way to come back, as you mentioned, Bill, like they have on the prior 2 San Diego goals. A deep ball in for Jaramillo. Covillas there, knocks it free. It's kicked by Cacho wide of the goal. Marhetic on the rebound, guarded by Katakalitis into the corner. Jaramillo turning, winding for the shot. Katakalitis came in, swiped it away. He's hurt. It's in front for Jaramillo. Tackled by Ladouceur, a push, and a foul called against the Sockers. And Katakalitis is hurt and down in the penalty area. It'll be a free kick at the top of the D, but we have a stop in the action.
Oh, Jaramillo and Quinn are pushing now. Jaramillo and Quinn, look out for this, because Quinn has been in the middle of a couple of rhubarb so far.
He was red carded from game 4, but the Sockers won 5-2. Didn't get a suspension as a result of that. He would on another red card.
The action was at the top of the box. Jaramillo got it with his back to the goal. Then Ladouceur came in with a hard tackle. They battled for it. Katakalitis, let's see where he got hurt. He pushes at Hermina. That's where the call incurred. And then all of a sudden, Katakalitis went down, holding his left leg around the shin or the ankle. And then Quinn and Hermina got into it a bit.
Katakalitis was hurt earlier in the sequence. He was running around in the penalty area there on that bad left foot. And now he's really in some pain. I think he may have turned his ankle on the AstroTurf. Minute 38 to go here in the first period. It has been a very eventful game so far. 5 goals, 17 fouls, 2 of the goals on the power play, 3 of the goals on the power play, and now we have a Sockers defender down and hurt.
Extremely physical game so far, as has the series. And Brian Quinn, who's been in the middle of most of the discussions during this series, the feisty one, coming back, was hurt on February the 20th. Came back during the playoffs, discussing things with Herb Silva. Quinn, if he gets a couple more yellow cards, he will be suspended for a game in the playoffs. Needs just 2 more points, however, on a positive note, for 50 career playoff points. So he's very close to a very good milestone, Brian Quinn.
Gene Willrich played in his 50th career playoff game the other night. Quinn is not far behind him.
Tough restart here for the Sockers to defend with Hermina on the ball at the top of the circle. And, of course, they're going to have to watch Marhetic, who will be down alone by Zoltan Toth. And, of course, with the new rules in effect this year, Hermina, if he has a chance, can direct right on goal with this kick.
Katakalitis hobbles off, and Hermina came over to him and made sure he was all right. I think Hermina was the player who got George on the ankle. And he does not look in good shape right now. On the Kobe Sports Arena swap meet scoreboard, 3-2 Sockers, a minute 38 to go in the first. That's right, the first period. And the Comets have a chance to come back again like they have on the prior 2 San Diego goals. And I'm with you, Bill. I think Hermina's going to blast this one.
2 players on the wall in front.
And he does drive it right at the wall, and Quinn and Segota likely thought, as we did, they got in front of it. Comets drive it back into the attacking zone. It's out to Koutsoukis. He has 2 goals tonight. Cuts to the inside. Good play by Ladouceur, and he's got Segota at center. Bronco trying to control the bouncing pass, brings it to the line. Ahead for Ladouceur, a little too much pace on the ball. And the Comets now try to make a line change on the feed from there. Get a little caught up in the bench area, and the Sockers bring it back with a minute 10 to go. Here's Schmetzer to center. He'll stop and wait for Kevin Crow to change with Clavillo. Ahead for Quinn. 1 touch back for Kevin Crow. And you're right, Bill. When the Sockers play that 1-touch game like they are in this first period, they are awesome. Here's Mitchell on a break. Back to the middle, and V intercepts it. Julie will clear it to the far boards, and Mitchell gets it back.
Boy, bad pass by Mitchell. They had a good break going. No-look pass for no reason. Tried to be a little too fancy.
Schmetzer, nice read as he intercepted in his own zone. Quinn now to center and across the line. Fakes the shot, goes to the left, pushing off Koutsoukis on his way. In front for V, he'll turn the shot, get a rebound. In front, Segota out to the far post for Julie. The drive, and it's off the wall wide.
That's some great vision and some great playing by the Sockers within tight quarters that time. The 2 veterans, Segota and V. Give them a couple more seconds, they would have put it in. The defense was turning their heads.
Good job by Quinn there to bring it all the way back to center and then to Zoltan Toth. It isn't always negative when they play it back to their own goalkeeper. It's often a big part of the offensive strategy. Here's Goossens trying to chest down a head ball from midfield by Cacho, but had a little trouble with it. That's a tough ball to handle. And as the period ends, Zoltan Toth will make a save. That's it for the end of the period here on Prime Ticket. 3-2, the Sockers lead. And you're watching the MISL on the Prime Ticket Network.
You can train for rewarding careers with good pay in business.
On hand here at Kemper Arena in San Francisco. Number 2, Randy Hunt along with Bill McDonald and Mad Mike, who is the resident in-house cheerleader here at Kemper Arena. Sockers now defending the net to our left, and from the kickoff, it comes to Segota, who has it go off him out of play, and the Comets will bring it back in.
Let's see if the Sockers can go 15 minutes without getting that 6th foul called against them. It's been almost a ritual during this first 4 games of the playoff series.
Comets trail by a goal. 2 of the 3 San Diego goals have come on the power play. Here's Jaramina in the left corner. He's been out for a while, but he's impressed me with what he's done so far in his first game of this playoff round. Marhetic out of the corner looking for Jaramina in front, but it's cleared by Clavillo.
if Haramina's going to have trouble, it's going to be cutting with the ball. But his game really now is posting up, playing the target man.
Here's Wilrich to center. The captain across the red line. He's got Segota with him. The pass to Bronco a little bit too far ahead. And the defender Cacho got a piece of it. Wilrich unloads a right foot shot that's blocked halfway to the goal. And the Comets come back out now. It's Jens Boost leading it at center for Marhetic. Cacho taking the pass. And he'll leave it for Marhetic again. Marhetic tends to get the ball a lot in midfield, and then he'll work it across that red line. And he'll get things organized. Long shot from outside by Boost. That had something on it. And Toth is tested on the long side for really the first time tonight and comes up with an important save.
A little bit of rush hour traffic in front of him also, and of course those screen shots can really cause a problem for the goalkeeper. Remember tonight, Toth in goal, that would give the Sockers a bit more of an advantage on the outlet passes, Toth being one of the better distributors in the league.
Kicks it to the red line for Pesha. Nice ball, but then Diego heads it back to a Kansas City player. Now the Comets try and penetrate in for Mitchell. Juan Hermes gets back, trying to get it to Toth, and Mitchell called for pushing off, and that's the first foul of the second period. And Toth, a man who grew up in his native Hungary and really has played soccer all his life, very good with his feet as a goalkeeper, as opposed to Gorsic, who really never took up the game until well into his teens and just doesn't have the same eye-foot coordination that Toth would have. Here's Dougherty now, his first shift of the game, and he's at the far side of the attacking zone. Ron Newman electing to go with Dougherty tonight instead of Melian. With Schmetzer coming back, somebody had to sit out. Foul against the Comets in midfield. They're upset, and they have 2 fouls in the period. Pesha give and go to Quinn, tries to flick it, but couldn't find the handle, and Alan Mayer will pick up the spinning ball in the penalty area.
Had Charlie Green draped all over his back defensively, pushing at him, had his hand in the cookie jar that time.
Nice ball by Mitchell up the wing. Green pushed off, then got to it. Nice play by Charlie Green, but then the pass off the glass too high for Goosens. Here's Hermes, 3-on-2 with Segota breaking out of the box on the left wing. The shot, and it's wide of the goal. Big rebound, but Clark settles it in front of Mayer.
Big line change, and Segota really actually had Alan Mayer beat that time. Anytime Segota lets one fly, you're thinking it's going in right now. He is at the top of his game and knows that he's got to lift his game to even a different level to win this one.
Katsoukas with some room on the right side. The defender there is Schmetzer, and they'll call 2 minutes against Schmetzer for that.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brian was going for the ball, I thought.
Tough call.
Yeah.
As Schmetzer seemed to have possession and wasn't really in a lot of trouble.
Katsoukas with it. It was kind of a follow-through with the other leg. He took it with his left leg, a stutter step by Katsoukas. Now he'll go to the left. Schmetzer will get the ball actually with his left, and then his right on the follow-through really took him down. And that's where the 2-minute penalty was called.
Well, when you see it on the replay, as we have the advantage of here on Prime Ticket, you have to go along with the officials, and that was a good call. So now, another special team situation. The Comets on the power play. They are 1 for 1. The shot right at goal. Toth, waiting for it to come off the carpet, picks up. And now the Sockers penalty killing unit will go to work. They get Segota on the field. The distributing pass by Toth up the wing for Segota, but he can't reach it. And here comes Katsoukas, and Segota will have to stay on. Katsoukas, far left, intercepted by Clavio. Now he'll look for Bronco. Out of midfield, the pass for Segota. He's got to step on the defender. He's tripped up by Marhetic, and there's no whistle. Segota is complaining, but I'll tell you what, I think that was a good call, too. There didn't seem to be any contact there. Back the other way come the Comets. Here's Marhetic, middle of the box. In front for Mitchell. Toth kicks it free. It's off the wall on the shot. High in the air. Jaramina after it. There was some bumping in the penalty area just before it came to him. Here's a shot off of Crow. And it's wild in the San Diego defensive zone as the Comets continue on the power play for another minute 5.
And there seems to be no composure in that San Diego 4 in the back, killing it off.
Here's Marhetic. Katsoukas the shot. The hat trick for Tasso Katsoukas, and we're tied again.
Four power plays tonight have netted 4 goals. 2 for San Diego, 2 for Kansas City, and Tasso Katsoukas, who tonight has become the Comets' all-time leading playoff scorer, passing Greg Murkowski, already is wearing the big sombrero. The hat trick for Katsoukas. And we're tied at 3, 11:21 to play in the first half. Katsoukas has room left side, and he first times it. And that just whistled past Clavijo and upstairs over the right shoulder of Zoli Toth. He couldn't react in time to get over, and that one just tucked in the middle. He had a big game in game number 3, Tasso Katsoukas did. Tied a playoff record with 3 assists and 4 points, and that big win, come from behind win for the Comets. Also scored the game-winning goal in game number 3, and he's doing it again here in the deciding 5th game in front of the home folks. We're tied at 3, and this has been a wild one so far.
So Katsoukas moves into 3rd in Kansas City playoff scoring history with that goal, his 3rd of the night. And it is Pesha now on the attack for San Diego. Plays it out to the left point for Brian Schmetzer. Here's Wilrich at center with 11 minutes still to go in this second period. And it has been a wild one so far. 6 goals. And as Bill just mentioned, 4 of them on the power play. Wilrich trying to send it in from center. It goes off the glass up high. And Alan Mayer will snatch it down out of the air. Foul situation. Sockers with none. Comets have 2 so far in the period. Marhetic got the assist on that goal by Katsoukas at 3:39. Here's Tacho across the line. He's got that good shot, and it deflected just wide to the left side. Wilrich trying to bring it out of his own zone for San Diego. And the Sockers, as you pointed out, Bill, had some trouble getting organized on their penalty-killing unit back there, and it really hurt them on the goal by Katsoukas because they were still scrambling around back there.
It's really tough to dissect what has gone completely wrong. That has been a unit that has been so strong over the years. You've got to think that it's just a great power play unit for Kansas City. They've got 5 premier scorers going up against you. Even the best probably can't stop this power play unit.
Part of the problem there was Segota was late getting off because he was still arguing with the officials about the lack of a call on the break down the right side. And the longer he takes to get to the bench, the longer it takes for that defender to get out there. Here's Goosens with a chance. Marhetic trailing, kicks it into the seats.
All the tide shifted again. Now it's the Sockers' turn to be back on their heels. And Zoli Toth in goal now, enduring the barrage. Zoli, of course, done very well in the playoffs. He's 1 win for 10 career playoff victories. He's been a mainstay, as we mentioned, along with Gorsuch in the back. And Ron Newman going off course tonight, putting Toth in goal when it was Gorsuch's turn. And really, you didn't hear too much clamoring from either the team or the organization or anybody involved with the Sockers about that move. And Toth was hot in game 4. Might as well go with him here in the deciding game.
He was only credited with 10 saves in the game, but stole a lot of balls in the penalty area that were intended for a man at the far post or the short post, and snuffed out a lot of good scoring opportunities. Here's a long ball by the Sockers, played in for Quinn. He and Charlie Green go to the wall. Green comes out with it, and the Comets playing with a lot of confidence right now. Just as I say that, Espinoza coughs up the ball in his own zone to Ladouceris with Namdar and Quinn and rolls it into the penalty area. I think he hoped to get a lot more on that shot. Either that or play it off the wall for Quinney. No problem for Alan Mayer. Now Espinoza has it. Chips it up the right wing. Marhetic on the run. He's got Crow watching him. Trying to cut it back. Takes it along the wall. But Zoli will pin it at the side of the penalty area. And Marhetic doing his best to slow down as he and Toth collided.
Boy, what a much different quarter this one is. Sockers with no fouls so far, and we're already 6 minutes in. At this juncture in quarter number 1, they already had 4 on their way to getting, 9?
Here's Segota, left side, has some room, and B, the shot right at Mayer, who makes the great save. Quinn to Segota to B, they score!
1 touch.
There it is. As the Sockers would call it, da-da-da. And it's in, and it's 4-3.
And da-da-da, boom. Right past Alan Mayer, who had no chance, who had made the great save a moment ago on Julie V. And give Bronco credit for 2 unbelievable passes. Here's the finish. Quinn, Segota, now watch this. Just first touches it over to V. He knows he's there. And just a flick with the left foot, and it's past Alan Mayer. That went around in a triangle around the box. And here's the start of it. Segota, here's another great pass through the legs of the defender, and that's just an outstanding save by Alan Mayer. Now the Sockers regain their composure, and quickly around the horn it goes to Julie V at the back post. Sockers on top 4-3, 8:47 to go. Second quarter for Julie. Now that's his 2nd goal tonight.
V with 2 goals. Segota with 2. Segota gets the assist there on V's 3rd of the playoffs at 6:13. 4-3 San Diego. We're live on the simulcast here in the second period at Kemper Arena in Kansas City. And Dave Clements, the head coach of the Kansas City Comets, has to be a little concerned in that the Sockers offense shows no signs of letting up right now. They are playing tremendously out there.
It's come to life, and it stayed to life. Really the key, and what is going to control this game is the Sockers defense. It has been the best in the MISL this whole year, and somehow they've lost it here in the playoffs during a couple of games. If they fundamentally correct things in the back, there's no way the Comets are going to win.
Wilrich tried on the right wing, but it gets to Alan Mayer. Now he'll feed it to Goosens, who has been kept off the scoreboard so far. And you have to think that won't go on all night in this kind of game that seems to be wide open. Katsoukas up the middle to the right for the Goose. Goosens now against Hermes. Hermes staying right with him, and a great play to knock it free. This is Pesha on his horse to center. Has Wilrich with him. Segota comes off the bench, and Wilrich will just turn it the other way as the Comets get 4 blue shirts back on defense.
And although the wheels came off of that break, you can see the good defense breeds good offense. And the Sockers have lived.
Pesha shot it wide as he got it in front on the turnaround. It comes off the wall to Catacolitas. Far post, Bronco chesting it down. He has Quinn, and now feeds it to Bryan up the middle. His shot off Cacho, and it'll be San Diego ball.
Boy, they're doing things quickly. Back to that point after this.
7:37 to go here in the second period. Sockers lead 4. Stations can identify themselves. From the Big A to Yankee Stadium and all points in between, Prime Ticket keeps you up to date on the latest in Major League Baseball on the Pennant Chase. Catch it Friday at 7 p.m. On the old Del Mar Cafe scoreboard, Sockers leading the Comets 4-3, 7:37 to go here in the second period.
We were talking about the Sockers' great defense before and how it turns into counterattacks. That's been San Diego's trademark for years and years, and it seems to be working here again. As we take a look at Ron Newman in his 7th year with San Diego and that incredible record of 132 wins and just 63 losses, and his playoff record of 30-12 and going for a 6th indoor title in a row.
Here's the restart San Diego along the near side wall. Quinn looking far post on an obvious set play, but it bounced off the wall and over Crow. He will get back, though, and clear it to center and beyond for Schmetzer. Schmetzer stepping into the lineup since going out April 10th in that game at St. Louis, that fateful night when Bronco Segota fractured his cheekbone in 4 places, and Schmetzer went down with a hamstring. Schmetzer was to have played in Game 4, but on Sunday morning at practice, he sprained an ankle, and that kept him out just another game longer. It's been a frustrating road back for number 2, Schmetzer, who's had his best defensive year as a pro. Here's Segota up the middle for Quinn. The turnaround shot, and he didn't get all of it. And Segota, on the way down the field, goes into the wall, and Broncos go into the penalty box, and he deserves that one.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if Herb Silva saw that, but he turned around in time to see Fraser hurt. It was definitely deserved by Segota, but I'd be interested to see whether or not Silva actually saw the play. Left part of your screen, Segota went in, then he takes a swipe at Fraser with his left arm. And Silva heard the crowd, turned around, and saw Fraser grabbing his head and called a 2-minute penalty on Segota.
So Segota goes to the penalty box.
And again, how silly is this? The Sockers giving away another silly penalty.
And as we've been talking about the Comets' power play, if you give them enough chances, they'll kill you. And tonight on the power play, Kansas City is 2 for 2.
2 for 2. And they've got Katsoukas, Marhetic, Goosens, Mitchell, Paramina. Everyone capable of scoring at any time from anywhere. Just a phenomenal power play unit.
So they continue to go back and forth. Here's Marhetic looking for Goosens at the far post. That's blocked, and now Leviseur brings it to center. He's got Namdar on the left wing. The pass a little far, but Chacha will get a shot at goal. Now he cuts it back inside, and instead of clearing it to a teammate, gives it back to Goosens. Now that Chacha may shoot there.
See, the great thing about Kansas City's power play unit is you can't cheat on anybody. Normally, there's at least 1 or 2 weak links in a power play, but here, San Diego's got to play it honest everywhere, and somebody's going to be open.
Marhetic to the right for Goosens. He'll let it go, and it's blocked by Namdar. Stepping up is Clavillo to take it back for San Diego. Knocks off his foot, but Crow will get it back as Fernando thought offense there and nearly lost it in front of his goal. Leviseur works it to Clavillo. They have Wilrich on the field now as the attacker, and Clavillo gives it away. Second time on this power play, he's given it away, and the usually sure-footed Clavillo nearly gets himself and his team into big trouble there. Aramina out to the right point for Goosens with 55 left in the power play. 4-3 San Diego leads. In front, Mitchell back for Goosens. Shot deflected wide, and then on the header, Marhetic, or make it Mitchell, gets it on goal, but I think may have bumped heads with Clavillo, and another San Diego defender is down, and it's a good one, Clavillo.
And Billy Taylor, San Diego trainer, out quickly to attend to Fernando Clavillo, who is face down in the box. And Mitchell's been struggling a bit tonight. Pressing, I think, a bit too hard. Big shot by Goosens, and then it's loose in the box, and Mitchell just collided heads. Gave Clavillo a great headbutt from behind, and down went Fernando for the count. Still down.
And his trainer, Bill Taylor, takes a look at Fernando Clavillo. We'll take a break on the Kobe Sports Arena.
It took a lot of thinking.
Here's Toad. Sends it to center. Ladouceur got a touch on it, but it's cleared by Espinoza back for Alan Mayer. Now the Comets will get the rest of that penalty unit on there, or power play unit, with 30 to go in the man advantage. Here's Marhetic with the score 4-3 San Diego. Up the middle of the field comes Pano Marhetic. In front for Mitchell, knocked away from him. Ladouceur watching Koutsoukas. Now Marhetic back for Tasso Koutsoukas. Sends it in for Goosens, controls it along the right wing. He's dangerous here. There's Koutsoukas, a drive. Toth had it all the way. And now it's scooped back to Zoltan by Chacha Namdar, and a San Diego foul. And that's the first Sockers foul of the period. Very dangerous area, too, just to the right of the penalty area. Not more than about 8 feet from the goal.
Zoli Toth and Mitchell with a little bit of a fracas in front.
Marhetic lifting it out for Koutsoukas. He has 3 goals already. Can't get the shot away. Now he does. It's high and wide. The power play is over as the ball comes off Crow on Goosen's shot, and the Sockers, for the first time tonight, kill off a man advantage situation by the Comets.
Seems like a first time in a long time. What an uphill battle that's been. First time tonight, as mentioned, and it hasn't happened often in this series. But San Diego has done a job. No goal patrol, back in business for the Sox. 4-5-4 remaining. Second quarter, 4-3. Sockers on top at halftime. We're going to be visiting with Bronco Segota. We see him with Ron Newman. Get a chance to see how that injury has healed up and talk about this first half of action.
Sockers have 39 penalty minutes in this series. They were the leading penalty minute team in the league again this season. Last year they set an all-time MISL record for penalty minutes. Comets do get a good restart in the San Diego zone. Mitchell, a little heel flick, but Clavillo reads it well, and now Toth has it with the teams back at even strength. Down to 4:45 left in the first half of play. We're live on the simulcast from Kemper. Here's Quinn ahead for Hermes. Watt will just tap it back for Brian Schmetzer. Schmetzer looking for Julie V. He has 2 tonight. V with his back to the goal for Quinn. Brian runs onto it. Off the wall looking for Julie, but Tim Clark, good job there in front of V. You give Julie that ball there, and it's as good as in. Now it's Charlie Green, who has faded into the background again somewhat after Game 2, the 5-1 win for Kansas City here at Kemper, when he was our star of the game with a couple of goals and an assist.
Well, he's faded back because all 4 of the top scoring forwards are back healthy, plus Koutsoukas has now caught fire.
Here's Quinn. Nice pirouette move at the red line to get away from a defender. Now he has Schmetzer on the left wing. A little ahead of him. He'll catch up to it. Into the corner looking for V, and Alan Mayer darts off his line and smothers it in the penalty area.
I'll tell you what, if I was a Kansas City defense, I'd do exactly what they're doing, playing off Quinn. They're just egging him on to shoot right now, and they're playing off the wingers and expecting Brian to pass the ball, and that's how they're able to cover up so beautifully anytime Quinn dishes off.
I'm surprised they're not egging him on to commit a foul or a penalty. They know he has a volatile temper. It's the way he plays, but Quinn has looked very poised out there tonight. It's what you'd expect from a veteran player like he, an MVP in the playoffs last year. Crow looking in the middle for Ladouceur. The ball goes to the far wall where Hermes will control it for San Diego with 3:24 to go in the period. Quinn can't reach the pass, and it's Marhetic, but Ladouceur comes in from behind, and the Sockers win it back again. And that's where the Sockers are going to win this game, keeping the ball away from people like Marhetic and Goosens, and those two have not had many touches on the ball tonight. Hermes trying to spin off Jens Boost, couldn't get there, and it'll come back to Alan Mayer.
We're talking about composure with Quinn. How about composure with the whole team this quarter? Just 1 foul so far for the Sockers. We are under 3 minutes.
Here's Marhetic to center. Up the wing for Jaramillo. He's forced off the ball by Katakalitis, but he gets the ball to Boost. Now it's deep for Marhetic. Kevin Crow marking him tightly and up in the air over top of Marhetic to get it, and up the wing for Namdar. Here's Chacha to the red line. He has Ladouceur up the middle, sends it up the right side for Katakalitis. Jens Boost gets back. And it's cleared by Boost toward the goal. Wilrich nearly got that one off the wall. Mayer did a good job to shield Wilrich away from that fall. Otherwise, he pokes it in for a 5-3 lead. It's 4-3 San Diego right now, live here in the second period.
Sockers dropping back a bit now, putting everybody back inside the red line. Got to concentrate on those forwards.
Here's Jaramillo. The shot, he just missed the post. It was bending toward the goal. Wilrich after the loose ball. It comes back to Katsoukas. He'll spin away from Clavio. Now off the wall. Toth the hand save. And now pushing it to center. And a foul called against Gary Collier. Obstruction against Pasha.
San Diego had a couple of steps on him if he had been able to sidestep Gary Collier. And Collier knew it. Really didn't say anything to the referees, either Dippolito or Silva that time. And Collier, the acting captain, and why not? He's got all that championship experience, and he's really been fired up going up against his old teammates. Wants to show them up.
He made a great move coming here from the Sockers. In San Diego this season, he was rarely used, fell out of Newman's disfavor. And here he's one of their top defenders.
Yeah, what is that, little fish, big pond? Now he's the big kahuna here at Kemper.
Three-line ball by Toth as he tried to spring Pasha down the wing. It comes back to the red line for restart Comets. Sockers dearly would like to get out of this half with a lead. Shot by Katsoukas, and that's a tough ball to pick out of the air with your left foot, but he does the job. It's saved. Here's Toth now on the counterattack to Wilrich. Gene past his man. Good delay there as he drops it to Segota. Over to Pasha now on the right wing. Sockers moving the ball around well in the attacking zone. And I'll tell you, Wilrich has really come to life in the last two games, particularly tonight.
And the thing to watch about the Sockers is how they move without the ball. That's one thing that they've always done so very well. They rarely stand around and they know where to go to get open.
A minute 12 left now in the first half of play. Comets making a line change. And Fraser across the line now will send it in deep for Mitchell. Gets a tough bounce off the wall. It's loose through the crease. That turned out to be a good bounce for Mitchell. Here comes Quinn on the counterattack with Pasha and Segota. Bryan to the red line. Back for Niego. He's got Bronco wide on the right. Shoots it. Mayer the save. Rebound hauled down by Mayer. But a good try by Niego Pasha. On the old Del Mar Cafe scoreboard, 4-3, Sockers leading, under a minute to go here in the first half. Here's Cacho, sliding tackle by Schmetzer. Ball sprays loose to Mitchell. He'll try and set it up. Have some trouble, though, running into Crow, and now Quinn has it. Looks for Segota at midfield. He's marked, holds it at the red line, and passes to his right for Schmetzer. Here's Ladou Singh, and can't get it from Schmetzer as Bryan lobs it into the seats. This will come back Kansas City ball with 24 to go in the period. Now be sure to watch us at the start of the third period tonight. We'll announce tonight's Power Play Weekend contestant. If the Sockers score a third quarter power play goal, our lucky contestant wins a weekend for two at the Viscount Hotel on beautiful Harbor Island and dinner at Doc Masters in San Diego. If you'd like to enter, send us your name, address, and daytime phone number to Power Play Weekend, care of the Sockers, San Diego. 3500 Sports Arena Boulevard, 92110, timeout on the field, and Dave Clements of the Comets wants to talk things over with his troops as Ron Newman calls his players over to the bench. Clements has accomplished so much here this season. Team finished 28-24, second best in the West. And that, of course, is why they have home field advantage in this series. Sockers never before have relinquished the home field advantage. If they win tonight, San Diego will open in Tacoma on Friday night. Games there on Friday and Sunday, both of which, incidentally, we will have live here on the simulcast. Of course, in years past, Sockers have been used to that home field advantage. And really, the Comets season boiled down to tonight, the home field advantage, something you play for all year. So they're happy with that. But right now, they're not happy, trailing by a goal. Sockers with only one foul in this period. That could be some kind of a record this year. Comets do have 4, but with the amount of time left, it's unlikely they'll pick up a penalty as Segota, who has reemerged as one of the top players in this game, strides back to his position. 10 goals, 6 assists in 6 career playoff games against the Kansas City Comets. It's about every team alive. Last season, not this past regular season, but the year before, Segota in the regular season in 5 games had 16 goals against St. Louis. That's 16 goals against one team in only 5 games. Tremendous. So now the Comets, trying to tie this at the half, are going to go with the extra attacker. Not a bad move here by Dave Clement. Charlie Green out to center with the ball, and he'll play it deep. Up in the air goes Crow, but the Comets' Jan Goossens gets it toward the net. Katakalitis gets an elbow, and that's going to be 2 minutes. It's got to be to Haramina, and now Katakalitis retaliates. We've got something going on in the corner. I think they're both going to go. If Katakalitis doesn't retaliate, it's a San Diego power play, and Katakalitis has just been red carded. George Katakalitis is out of the game, and he's going bananas. A terrible move by Katakalitis. It was going to be a 2-minute penalty. And now Katakalitis takes a swing at Haramina, and he's out of the game, and it'll be a 5-minute major penalty to San Diego. And this is a terrible turn of events. It could have been a power play. Instead, the advantage will go to the Comets. Katakalitis is out. We thought all this was over after Game 4. Instead, Katakalitis loses his cool in the biggest game of the year. And Ron Newman can't believe it. Newman is beside himself on the bench. Katakalitis got a big, stiff right arm in the head from Haramina. Haramina really should be red carded for that. It was a terrible, terrible penalty. But then Katakalitis down. You'll get a look at it, perhaps. Gets up and punches Haramina in the face. Haramina was trying to help Katakalitis up, and George threw a right arm at him. So a 2-minute penalty to the Comets. This should be a 5-minute major penalty to San Diego to go on with the red card. And this all comes with 18 seconds left in the second period. So the teams will be at even strength for 2 minutes. This will go on into the third period. But then we'll have a 3-minute power play for the Comets. Minutes to Katakalitis and the red card. And George had that coming. If he stays down, Sockers are on a power play for 2 minutes and have a chance to maybe put this game away with a 2-goal lead. Pesha will come over to serve Katakalitis penalty, and you have to question George's judgment there. Sure, it's the heat of the battle, but this is the 5th and deciding game, and the season is on the line. You can't afford your temper to get the better of you. So the teams are at even strength now for the rest of the half with 18 seconds to go. And now, of course, the Comet net is occupied again by Alan Mayer to our right. It will be San Diego ball deep in their own zone. Clavillo standing over it as Pesha is in the penalty box. There's Haramina in the box for the Comets as the ball comes to Zoltan Toth. And I'll tell you what, tough luck for Katakalitis. That came right before the halftime. He's going to get an earful from Newman in the locker room, and likely from his teammates. He let them down with that play. Here's Quinn trying to send it up the wing for Clavillo with 2 to go, and time will run out as Fernando does get the shot off at the buzzer. Well, a wild first half here in Kansas City. 7 goals in all. Segota, then Koutsoukas, then Segota, then Koutsoukas. Sounds familiar. V for San Diego. And then in the second period, Koutsoukas and V again. 3 players have done all the scoring. And the first playoff hat trick for Koutsoukas has the Comets in this game. Stay tuned for our halftime show. We'll visit with Bronco Segota, plus have highlights of all the action. 4-3 with our Bill McDonald. Bill?
Thanks, Randy. We have all the earmarks for a brawl, I think, coming up in the second half, and a good man to talk about it right here, the star of the Sockers, Bronco Segota. And a bit unfortunate there towards the end of the half, Bronco, I think, because Katakalitis had that 2-minute penalty already called on Kansas City, and then he went out and got a 5.
Yeah, well, he was upset at the first one. In the first quarter, I think Damir hit him in the back of the leg, and I think he hadn't recovered from that yet, and he was still angry, and then he got done in the boards again. He drew the 2 minutes, but I think it was a little bit foolish to retaliate that badly, you know, and slap the guy in the head. And, you know, it put us into a really bad situation with 5 minutes going into the second half.
Before we get back to this game, a little bit about you and your... It's a little more than the cheekbone on the right side of your face. It went all the way up, almost to the forehead. How is it, and when were you convinced that you should play without that mask?
Well, it's much better now. Strong, and you know, I haven't got hit there yet, so that's a good sign. But you know, it was 4 major breaks up here, and I decided not to go with the mask because it gets all hot and sweaty under there, and I can just feel it hanging there, and it would be bad for me to play with it like that.
Now, you had a couple of goals in the first half, and You like to call those sometimes lucky goals, and you told me before we went on, it's about time you got a couple of those, but you'll take them, and you've been playing very, very well here in these 3 games.
Yeah, well, usually my goals are pretty, and, I get them right in there, or the goalie makes a great save, and then tonight I get 2 beautiful deflections, I wish I'd get a lot more of those.
Now, it's difficult to stop this Kansas City team, and I think a giant hill was climbed with the Sockers killing off one of the power plays. It proves that you finally again can do it, and in the second half, you're going to have to come out and kill one right off the bat almost.
Yeah, well, that's the team we are, We had a little bit of problems in the early games, but I think we ironed everything out, and it's going to be difficult. Kansas City is the top team in goal getting, so we're not going to stop now. We're going to defend with all 5, and we're going to attack with all 5, and hopefully we can kill this rest of these 3 minutes in the second half.
Quickly, it's been emotional, it's been physical. What do you expect in the second half? A little bit of Soccer's game plan.
Well, I think we'll come out the same way. We'll play a little bit more tactically smart, a little bit defensively, and hopefully we can kill off the penalty and get another goal and hold on.
All right, Bronco, thanks for the visit. Good luck second half.
Thank you.
Bronco Segota has been our halftime guest, and a bit of a playoff update. There have been some great series so far here in the MISL, and one in the West, Tacoma beating the Wichita Wings 3-2, and the star, who else but the Lord of all indoors and Bronco's good buddy, Steve Jungle. He had another outstanding playoff series, scoring 17 points. Of course, Steve is the all-time leading scorer in MISL playoff history, and these 2 teams vying to see who will play Tacoma in the next round. We got a good one going at halftime. Soccer's up by 1 over the Comets. Back with more in a moment.
69 extra gold. Bill, for the uninterested observer, if there are any, just a great half of indoor soccer. Lots of goals, some controversy. From a playoff standpoint, all you could hope for entertainment-wise. But really, I think both teams have to settle a little down on the penalty situation.
Oh, boy, the intensity is really there. And we knew emotions would take over, and they certainly have. And power plays and special units, they've been the story. And now I think this next series coming up with the teams even for a couple of minutes and then Kansas City on the power play, that could tell the story of this game. San Diego has got to get out of this 5 minutes with at least tied or maybe in the lead by 1 or 2 goals. If they fall behind, as we've mentioned, it could be history.
You want highlights? We've got highlights. Plenty of them from that first half. It was a tremendous offensive 30 minutes of soccer.
And let's start it off with the Sockers, and of course it'll be Bronco Segota getting a bit of an assist from a Kansas City defender. Bronco will take a loose ball at the right side point, and he'll just tee it up and blast it. And on a deflection, Alan Mayer has no chance. That was just a minute 28 into the game. Segota's 4th of this playoff series. The Sockers were on top, but just seconds later, coming back is Kansas City, as Kansas City will take it after Brian Quinn loses it in his own zone, as he and Katakalitis had some mix-up. Katsoukas will come in on the corner of the box and beat Toth one-on-one. Zoli came out to try to cut down the angle, but just a nice shot going away by Katsoukas had Kansas City even at 1 apiece. But then later on into the first quarter, and the first of many power play goals for both teams, Bronco Segota will take it for San Diego, and he will once again get an assist. This will be another own goal for Kansas City. Segota will get it on the left wing side. He'll center it, looking for Watt Herman, his back post. It will deflect off of ex-Socker Gary Collier over the fallen Alan Mayer. That, as I mentioned, was a power play goal. Bronco gets credit for it, his 2nd of the game, his 5th of the playoff series. 8-10 into the first quarter. San Diego led by the score of 2-1. But then the resiliency of the Kansas City team. Kansas City has been playing very, very well, and when they're down, they've really brought themselves out. And at this point, San Diego was on top 2-1, and they came right back again with Tasso Katsoukas getting his 2nd goal of the game at the 8:34 mark, his 3rd of the playoff series. An assist went to Dale Mitchell. That was also a power play goal. It was right off of a restart, and it was 2-2. San Diego went back in the lead again, made it 3-2 on another power play. And this one's going to be Julie V from the right side, and this one's going to go in very clean. A bullet from the right side over the shoulder of Alan Mayer. And the power play made it 3-2 San Diego. That was a 12:27 mark of the first period, and that's the way the first quarter ended, 3-2 Sockers. But then that man again, Tasso Katsoukas, who wore the sombrero in the first half with the hat trick, and he will come back again for Kansas City, and this will occur at the 3:39 mark of the second quarter. Katsoukas will get it from Marhetic. Tasso all alone on the left left-hand side, first times it with the left foot. Boy, they couldn't be more perfect. Upstairs, right into the corner, over a beaten Zoli Toth, and Katsoukas celebrates, as we mentioned, his third goal of the game, and it was tied up at 3 apiece. But then San Diego, showing what champions are made of, takes the lead in the first half of action, as Julie V will get his second goal of the game, his third of the playoff series on an assist from Branko Segota. That's just great one-touch soccer by San Diego. From Quinn to Segota to V, and V finishes, and San Diego on top at the half.
Welcome back to the Bill McDonald Show. That was quite a run of goals. You had 7 to describe there, and you did so very well. Take a breath. You certainly need it. Well, we talked about the playoff star in one of the other series, the one that involved Tacoma and Wichita. Steve Jungle, the standout there. Yesterday, the Minnesota Strikers and Cleveland Force finished up their best of 5, with Cleveland winning it. The star of that series, without question, P.J. Johns, the Force goalkeeper, 3-0, and he is now 6-1 in career playoff games. Back with the second half right after this. The Comets, 15-12. Soccer's blocks a factor. They had 7 to Kansas City's 3. Both goalkeepers, Mayer and Toth, with 5 saves each. And here's the penalty situation, which turns out to be the biggest topic so far. Soccer's 4 penalties for 11 minutes, 5 to Katakalitis there late in the half, and the Comets 3 penalties for 6 minutes. The power play, the Sockers have been perfect, 2 for 2, and the Comets 2 for 3.
Well, there's the difference in the game. Kansas City has missed on one of their power plays. However, they will get another one here starting about a minute 42 into this third quarter. They will get a power play. Of course, George Katakalitis getting the 5-minute penalty, getting thrown out of the game with the red card. Things pretty even up as the teams make a tardy appearance back out on the field. Of course, in a game number 5, both coaches have a lot to say to these two teams, and it was a very rough, emotional first half, and figures to get rougher, especially if the Sockers get a lead. And with this crowd egging Kansas City on here in the second half, if KC gets a lead, it might be lights out.
Well, time now for our Soccer's Power Play Weekend contest, and our contestant tonight is Ms. Mary Mayers of La Mesa, California. And if the Sockers score a goal here in the third period on the power play, and boy, the chances of that good the way this game has gone, Mary will receive dinner for 2 at the Viscount Hotel on Harbor Island and dinner for 2 at Doc Masters in beautiful San Diego. If you'd like to take a shot in our Soccer's Power Play Weekend contest, just drop us a postcard with your name, address, and daytime telephone number to the Sockers, care of 3500 Sports Arena Boulevard, San Diego, California, 92110. And good luck to Mary Mayers of La Mesa. Sockers a little late coming out of the penalty, or out of the locker room. Would I love to have been a fly on the wall in the Sockers locker room at halftime.
A little bit of gamesmanship going on from Ron Newman. He's great at that. Well, you should hear some of the things he says throughout this series in the paper, and a little offhanded remarks at the referees and the other team and the other coaches. And hey, you can't knock his psychological approach ever when you're the most successful coach in American soccer history. Boy, and Rod Hermes holding a bit of a conference with Gino DiPolito. Probably a lot to say to those referees going into this second half of action.
Well, if the Sockers hang on here in the second half and win, they will go to the Western Division Finals. And the next games at the San Diego Sports Arena would be games 3 and 4 on Wednesday. That's a week tonight, the 27th, and then Saturday the 30th, both 7:35 kickoffs. And if the Sockers win tonight, tickets go on sale tomorrow morning at 10 at the Sports Arena box office. All Ticketmaster locations, including May Company, Mad Jackson Tower record stores, or you can order your tickets by phone at 619-278-8497. Games 3 and 4 at the Sports Arena. And there's Ron Newman. I've seen Ron pretty upset, but I haven't seen him as upset in a long time as he was when Katakalitis was thrown out of the game. It really was a bad decision by George. I know he'll regret it after the fact, but in the heat of the moment, you've got to have some composure from time to time. And George has a hot temper as it is, and it really hurt the Sockers
And
there.
composure was something we were touting the Sockers for having in that second quarter, and they let it get away in a key moment in that final minute of the second quarter.
Well, the penalty clock is a little confusing here as we start the third period. There is a minute 42 left in the Comets penalty to Jaramina. That was for the boarding call against Katakalitis, but there is 4 minutes and 42 seconds left in the 5-minute major penalty to the Sockers as a result of Katakalitis' red card, and that's being served by Pescia. So if anybody scores a goal in the minute 42 here, nobody comes out of the penalty box. It's like an even strength situation here for the next couple of minutes. Sockers attack the goal to our left. We are in the third period live on the simulcast. Game 5, last one of this series. Here's Wilrich deep for San Diego, trying to spin off Gary Collier. Still has it, and now trying to clear it back toward his own end. Kings playing with 4 field players and a goalkeeper each right now.
If I were the Sockers, I'd do all I could to score here in this even strength situation, because it's going to be a tough order to ask to stop Kansas City in a 3-minute power play, and that's exactly what they'll get.
Here's Jens Boost for Kansas City. Hermes kicking at him, but Boost will get the ball free and back to Fraser near center. Now a minute to go in the penalty to Jaramillo, and then the Comets go to the power play. They have 2 power play goals on 3 chances so far tonight.
And the Comets, 5 players on the power play. They're just on the bench waiting for their turn. Right now, these are just 4 pawns waiting for the big boys to come up.
Just out there really to kill time until the power play. Here's the ball in for Boost. He scored in Game 4, has a couple of playoff goals, gets it to Charlie Green, and boy, he turned right toward his own end. And they are really just trying to kill time here. It's an even strength situation, but they're like a penalty-killing unit out there. Here's Collier. Sockers have not had a touch of the ball in quite some time. And finally, it comes back now to Zoltan Toth inside the San Diego penalty area. And Ron Newman is going to have to make a tricky line change here, too, because with 10 seconds now to go in the Jaramillo penalty, he's got to get his penalty killers out there and get the offensive-minded players that are on the field right now off. And now they're starting to do that.
And fortunately, Clements has not made the change yet, so he's got to get his power play unit on also.
And now the Comets are on a 3-minute power play. Zoltan Toth with the ball in the penalty area, playing it ahead for Namdar. Cha-Cha hits a square ball across to the far wing. Schmetzer now to Toth. Zoli hadn't picked it up yet, so he is allowed to. And lobs it to center for Quinn. He'll lay it off for Clavillo. Give and go for Namdar on the left wing. And is cleared by Cacho back to Alan Mayer. And now the power play unit for the Comets goes to work. They trail 4-3. We are live in the third period of Game 5. This deciding game of what has been a tremendous series, as have all the series in the playoffs so far. Marhetic up the middle. Koutsoukas, the drive, and Toth's got it. And boy, if that comes off the wall, Mitchell and Jaramillo are both there with an open net.
If you're a fan of Hart, don't watch Zoltan Toth play goal if you're rooting for San Diego. Boy, it seems like he's living on the edge whenever he makes a save. But that time he had perfect position.
Now down to 2 minutes, so the Sockers have killed off a third of this power play. Here's Goosen, who hasn't had a good scoring chance yet tonight. Koutsoukas, who's had 3 and connected on all 3. Double teamed in the corner. Boy, the Sockers were creative there to get a double team while penalty killing. And now Crow trying to clear it. Hits it out to the red line. Goosens up the middle for Marhetic. Comets on a power play for another minute 40. Here it is. Koutsoukas through the box. Here's Jaramillo. Shot the front off Kevin Crow. Well, that makes George Patakaleda's heart drop because the Comets cashed in on his loss of temper.
And if they lose the game in the series, they may just look back to this situation right here. This is an indoor soccer goal. Jaramillo will hit it. Actually, the ball will go wide and it'll deflect right off of Kevin Crow, who just bangs it home on an own goal. They started out on top with Marhetic. Swings it to the left side. Ball centers out in front. Goes through 3-4 players. Jaramillo with the big shot. Hit the post, but Kevin Crow just trying to cover up. Puts it in his own goal. And Damir Jaramillo, back off the injury list, gives his team a lift. And we're tied again at 4. His first goal in the playoffs. And the key here, Randy, Sockers have yet to be behind in the game. So it's important that they get the next one.
Koutsoukas now with 4 points as he gets his second 4-point game of this series. 3 goals and an assist as he picks up the helper on Jaramillo's first goal, again on the power play at 3:06. And we have a foul, and it's against the San Diego Sockers, their first of the period. Juan Hermes getting involved with Jan Goosens. Restart up at the red line. Cacho will play it across for Charlie Green. Here's Green up the middle, winding, and the shot rejected by Quinn. Comes back to Clark. He gives it away to Pesha. The drop pass for Segota. Here comes Bronco. He has 2 goals and an assist. Up to the red line. He has Quinn with him. Nice move past Clark. The shot. Take of the game so far. Now a good counterattack for Mitchell. He'll come in on Kevin Crow. Crow watching Mitchell. The pass to Cacho into the seats.
Cacho brought up the driver that time. hit it as far as it can down the fairway, Cacho.
Boy, did Bronco Segota turn Tim Clark around or what? And Alan Mayer comes up with what has to be the save of the game so far.
You know how superstars make it look easy? Look at this. That's a tough turn. Bronco fakes right, goes left, and booms it with his left foot from the top of the circle. And Alan Mayer comes all the way out to make the save with Diego Pesa all over him to his side. He had much more to think about than just Bronco's shot. The play by Alan Mayer. Still tied at 4.
Mayer, the former Sockers goalkeeper, winner of several championships in San Diego. His most outstanding season, 1982-83, when he was the regular season most valuable player in the MISL, and then capped it off with back-to-back shutouts in the championship round against Baltimore. Right now, he's trying to make a little history here in Kansas City. Julie V tries to head it down in midfield and plays it all the way back to Kevin Crow, on to Toth, and the Sockers trying to get it out of their own end as the Comets have something to play for again here. It's tied.
Just taking the numbers of Kansas City's power play effectiveness a bit further, 3 of their goals tonight have been on the power play, and 4 out of the last 5 goals in the series have been on the man advantage.
Here come the Sockers. Segota down the left side, looks to the middle, lets it go off of Espinoza. That time he tried to really work it through a lot of traffic. Dave Bonchek, and now Espinoza will clear it to center. Takes a bounce on the carpet, out of play, and this will be San Diego ball coming back in. Now let's pause for a moment so that our stations can identify themselves. The UCLA Bruins take on the Rainbows from the University of Hawaii in the NCAA Western Regional Basketball or baseball action from Tempe. It's playoff time on Prime Ticket Saturday night at 7:30. 10:17 to go here in the third period. We're live. Randy Hahn along with Bill McDonald. Good crowd on hand here for what will be the deciding game of the year for one of these teams. 4-4 on our Kobe Sports Minute Swap Meet scoreboard.
Kansas City picking up man-to-man all over the field. Earlier they had played the 3-2 zone. So Dave Clemens trying to mix things up and confuse the Sox.
Comets foul, and that's their first of the period as the crowd gets riled up really for the first time. B trying to chip a ball in for Wilrich. That was a good idea by Julie, but the defender, Boost, read it well, knocks it back for Alan Mayer. Now the Comets playing with some momentum, certainly after tying it up again, and they have never fallen behind in the game by more than a goal. Here's Toth. The toss to center. Julie V chests it down. Looks for Quinn. Now the relay to Segota. Collier back. Bronco on the wide angle. Looking far post for Quinn. And Alan Mayer did the job there to knock it off Quinn's stride. And Mayer getting in some trouble there just getting that pass back. I've seen a ball like that or similar to it go in past Alan Mayer a couple of years ago in San Diego. Actually, it was much more casual than that, and he just lifted his foot at the wrong time, and it went rolling under.
I'm sure he remembers.
Quinn goes in hard with Collier. We have a whistle, and it's going to be a foul against Kansas City, and Gary Collier is playing with a lot of passion out there as he did in Game 4 at San Diego. Throwing the weight around just a little bit.
Somebody's got to come to the forefront besides Segota in this game. Right now he's doing everything and all for San Diego, but a guy like Hermes or V or Wilrich has to come up. V has done his thing, but Waddy really has been almost invisible.
Well, you know, the game changes now with Katakalitis out because Ron Newman has to drop somebody back on defense, and it's Hermes.
It's got to be him, yeah.
And that hurts San Diego offensively because Hermes can kill you with that great shot of his. So Katakalitis getting the red card hurts the Sockers doubly.
But still in that sense, on a plus, Hermes has a great shot from the point, and that will help out tremendously if they get into a half-court type game.
From center, it's Espinoza sending a long ball inside of the penalty area. Toth picks it up, and the crowd wants a whistle, feeling that he was outside the penalty area, which was the case. One of his feet was, but as long as the ball is in the plane of the penalty area, it's very legal, and it certainly was there. Here's Marhetic, a steal at center. He'll have to outrun Wad Hermes. Tough task. Wad's a quick player. He'll get it back to Zoltan Toth, who drops it off now to his left. The Comets have taken back the momentum in this game. It's 4-4. We're in the third period. The winner goes on. The loser goes home.
And although it's early, when you're the visiting team, you don't want to get down to the final minutes tied and possibly face an overtime on the road in a deciding game. That's just not what you envision.
Here's Dougherty attacking. Scores!
They're going to wave it off.
No goal, no goal. And a foul called against Pesa. Oh, my goodness. What a terrible time to take a foul when Dougherty had cleanly beaten his man on the right wing.
You know what surprises me? The goal judge never turned on the light. even though he didn't know that there was a whistle.
That went in and out very quickly. I think the goal judge may have been a little confused as to whether it actually went in. We get another look at it.
Penalty was called right before holding on San Diego's Pesa. Good call. Doherty put it in, but it was waved off.
Maybe if Pesa doesn't hold, there's no scoring chance. Here he is in front. Scores! And it's Pesa redeeming the foul from a moment ago, and it's 5-4 Sockers, and they keep going back and forth, but San Diego has never trailed.
Oh, the best way to answer a mistake is to do exactly what Diego Pesa just did. He buried it. Sockers on top by 1.
7:36 left in the third period. 5-4 Sockers here in Game 5, and we're back after this. That likely will rank up there among his most memorable, I would think, Bill.
Great pass by Doherty from the right side point. Just slots it in with great pace to Pesa. He's at the top of the box, sandwiched in between two defenders, and before they could get to him, he wheeled, he dealed, and he buried it with his left foot. And that was just a great play before Cottrell and Clark could pinch in on him. Sockers again regain the lead 5-4 here in the third.
Doherty, who had the goal taken away, gets the assist. He was a last-minute addition to the lineup by Ron Newman. He decided to sit Elliott out, and Doherty comes up with the assist on Pace's first of the playoffs at 7:24.
And the Sockers trying to get some kind of a comfort zone, more than a one-goal lead.
Here's Goosens, drops it back for Boost, and if he leaves it for Mitchell, he has a clear shot, but Boost tried to play it back toward Goosens. Comets with it at midfield, and it rolled past Ian Fraser, taking his eye off it for a moment. Now he'll bring it forward again. Teams are at even strength. Believe it or not, there's nobody in the penalty box right now. Here's Quinn to center, trying to get it to Ladouceur, second time, and finally it is Goosens collecting it. And Jan Goosens has still been shut down in this game, and that is a big story right now. 5-4 to score. Sockers defending here. Ball played in for Mitchell. Lays it off to Fraser, and it comes loose to Brian Quinn. And the Sockers have to be tough now in front of that net.
That's a dangerous place to let Mitchell get the ball in and around the box. Kind of like V on the other side. If Julie V gets it in the box, he's got a 50-50 chance of scoring from there, really. And with guys like Mitchell and Jaramina, you have to deny them the ball.
Segota against Collier. Shot right side. Look for Quinn on the rebound off the glass. He couldn't reach, and now Goosens will bring it out. Julie V gets a steal with help from Segota. Julie on the left wing. Bronco back at the point. V tied up by Fraser and Goosens. V still after a penalty, a San Diego foul. And Julie felt he'd been the recipient of a foul down there in the corner and retaliates in kind. Third San Diego foul. A little tough to tell in that mess down there if Julie'd been fouled. Looks like Goosens threw a little hip check there at him just before Julie came back.
Yeah, but Goosens was closer to the ball in the referee's eye. That's why he gave it to him.
Here's Marhenik at center. 3 men back for San Diego. Takes on Wilrich. And forced wide to the right. Man open at the far post for the Comets. It's Espinoza. Here's Katsoukas. The shot. It went off Jaramina and into the seats. So this will be San Diego ball. Lucky break here. Otherwise, corner kick Comets.
Tell you what, that ball might have gone in. Except it hit Jaramina in front. Toth was slid over to the other post. And that was a big shot by Katsoukas.
On the old Del Mar Cafe scoreboard, 5-4, San Diego leading. We are live in the third period on the simulcast here on the Prime Ticket Network and on radio throughout Southern California on 69 Extra Gold. We hope you're enjoying the action, and if the Sockers win tonight, we'll be back live with the simulcast Friday night, Game 1 from Tacoma. And what a series that would be. San Diego against the Stars for the second straight year. Here's Toth with the ball in the penalty area. Outside to Hermes. Sockers need a cushion, as you said, Bill. 1 goal, obviously, in this game is not going to be enough. 3 goals wasn't enough in Game 3. Toth gives it away on the distributing pass to midfield. B trying to wrestle it away from Katsoukas. It comes to Cacho. Now Segota's got to break down midfield. Cacho, last man back. Bronco, breakaway, in on goal. Mayer to save. It's in! It's in! And the Sockers have a cushion.
Oh, Bronco will take it. A bit fortunate, but what great speed to get away from Cacho with the ball. Just sensational speed as V gave it to Bronco, and normally when a player gets the ball and goes to the dribble, the defender catches up quickly. Not Bronco. He turned the jets on and got it past Alan Mayer, who is just fit to be tied with himself. He had a piece of the ball originally, but then it just went off of Bronco's body. We're going to get a chance to see it on the television portion. Bronco Look at the speed right here. Although it's in slow motion, you can tell he's got the afterburners on, and he tries to get it past Alan Mayer and just gets enough to get it past him. Didn't even have to hit it a second time as it goes off of his body. And Bronco gets the hat trick.
He didn't even see that go in. He reacted after it was in the net. I'm sure he thought it had been blocked and went off to the side.
3 of the ugliest goals Mr. Segota will ever score, and they're all huge right now. 6-4. There's your 2-goal advantage, but we're still only in the third. Sockers up 6-4.
Now the Comets in the deepest hole they've been in this game. Certainly not in the series, though. They trailed by 3 goals twice in Game 3 and won 9-7. But here come the Sockers again. Quinn to center. He's got Nandar and Pesha. Brian to the red line, looking forward, takes it right, kicked away by Fraser. And now Quinn will work it to the point.
Kansas City's got to be careful now not to get caught upfield, trying to push it up and score goals. This is where San Diego can attack on the counter, on the transition, and break out just like they did there with V to Segota.
I think another important phase in the game right now is for the Sockers not to let up. They've got the Comets on the run, and if they get into that defensive posture that they were in Game 3 in the second half, this Comet team has got certainly the firepower to eat you alive. Goossens hasn't even picked up a point tonight. He's the leading scorer on this team.
And we've got to mention it. Don't pick up a penalty.
Quinn gave it away to Cacho, who made a nice change coming off the bench. Dougherty will get it once again for San Diego to Niego. And Dougherty and Pesha, as you just witnessed a few moments ago, hooked up on a big goal themselves. Here's Quinn to the red line. They boo him after that red card in Game 4. Dougherty misses a tackle, but the Sockers are continuing to work hard going forward, and I think that's the key to their game right now. Don't try and win it with a 2-goal lead. It's not going to work. At least it'll be difficult. And now Clavillo kicks it out along the near wall as he tried to work it to midfield, and we have a break in the action with 3:39 left in the third period. On the Kobe Sports Arena Swap Meet scoreboard, 6-4 Sockers. On the Sockers' new radio home for the playoffs, 69 extra gold. Be listening mornings to Bloom and Harrigan to find out how you can win $10,000 in the Sockers Beat the Goalie contest on 69 extra gold, your classic oldies connection. We're back underway live here in the third period. Here come the Sockers to center. Wad Hermes has Segota out the right side. Wad up the middle, winding into the penalty area for Quinn. Nice soft pass by Hermes, but Quinney, I think, was expecting the booming shot there. Back comes Mitchell now on the counterattack. Sockers working the bench very well. Mitchell left side, and Segota makes the defensive play. Comes back to Mitchell. Now it's Goossen spinning out of the corner. Gives it to Bronco, and Bronco, what a great ball. Just a little softball out of the back like that, but it's right on the foot of Brian Quinn. He sends it in for B. Julie on his way down the right wing. Sharp angle. He'll turn out of that corner. Drive it off the wall, and Dougherty will chase it to the near glass. Dougherty laying it off to center for Schmetzer. Sockers just settling down the pace here a little bit.
Well, when you want the work rate, you put Dougherty in the game. He's nonstop, perpetual motion.
B to the right side for Wilrich, and Gene just shovels the pass back to Crow at center. Under 3 minutes to go in the third period. Certainly not out of the question, though, that the Comets could make a game of this yet.
You know, you marveled at the composure of Segota. And he is so good, and he knows it, too. I mean, when you're out there and you know you're as good or better than anybody out there, and you can see the whole field, there's just an aura around you, and Bronco exudes it.
Here comes Cacho. Ahead to Marhetic. Quick pressure there from Schmetzer, but Marhetic, a good ball controller, will take it up the left wing. Here is Katsoukas. He's got Jaramillo in front. Tried to bank it off the wall. Crow closed in on him so quickly and just stuck that big body in front. And now it comes free to Ladouceur for San Diego. He alertly stops at the red line and feeds to Wilrich. And the Sockers are playing smart soccer out there right now. Even the less skillful players, perhaps, players like Ladouceur, and I'm not trying to criticize him or anything, but he's certainly not a Segota, yet he's playing with the same kind of poise out there right now. It gets to be contagious, and the Sockers look sharp. Here's Wilrich on the right wing side, goes into the corner against Clark. Has Pesha outside. He'll get the pass back to Gene. Wilrich tackled but not away from him, and the shot by Gene blocked by Katsoukas. Here comes Marhetic, one-on-one against Hermes. Armina also in the attacking zone as Marhetic stops at the boards. Up the middle for Katsoukas. Good sliding tackle by Dougherty. Played the ball and didn't get the foul.
It was a gamble, but he got the ball first, and that's the important thing. And now San Diego really is going to come up and attack 3-on-3 because Dave Clements is leaving a couple of players, not just one, but 2 players, a majority of the time now in the neutral third midfield, hoping for a break, 2-on-2, try to get something in on goal.
Here's Hermes, up the wing for Segota, gets away from one man, but it's back now for Espinoza. He has Mitchell wide open on the right side, gets him the ball. Mitchell up the middle, taking to his right, stays right, draws it back out again. Mitchell still with it, into the middle, far post, and it's off the top of the net. Wide open chance for Espinoza at the far post. He hit it above the crossbar. Great scoring chance there. Here's Quinn, counterattack with Pescia and Segota. Bronco tries to roof it and puts it out of play. So it's still 6-4 with 45 to go here in the period. And Segota, with the adrenaline flowing, a little upset with his teammate Quinn on that last play. 4 points tonight for Segota. He has 11 in 3 games. I don't know if there's an early leader in the balloting for playoff MVP. You've got to think that Jungle right now, with his tremendous performance in the 5-game series against Wichita, is the #1 contender. Johns, who we talked about at halftime, the goalkeeper for Cleveland, right up there certainly. But Segota is closing ground here in Game 5. 42 to go now as the Comets are down by 2 and the 4th period approaching. Cacho, back of the red line. Looks to center for Mitchell. 3 men up deep for San Diego to pressure. They get it to Goossens on the right side, and he puts it right on goal. Toth the save. Here's Clavillo sprinting up and playing it to Quinn. Quinn at center. On the right side, he has Clavillo at the left. The ball off the wall, and nobody trailing for the Sockers on that angle, and it is Goossens coming back. Clavillo races back on defense now as Goossens has it on the right point. Shot off Clavillo, and it comes out of play with 6 seconds left. Well, a great chance there, and if Brian Quinn is 100%, and let's face it, after missing the length of time he did with the knee injury, played in only 22 games out of a possible 52, missing 30 this year, he's not at full speed. And at full speed, Brian Quinn may have turned that into a goal himself. Nonetheless, still 6-4 San Diego. 6 seconds to go here in the 3rd period. A kick-in coming up. Ian Fraser standing at center. Chips the long ball, far post. Crow and Mitchell both up in the air. It's off the wall, side of the net in. With 1 second to go in the period, and the Comets get a big lift here as the 3rd period is about to end. Oh my, the Sockers have to keep them off the scoreboard for 6 seconds, and they couldn't do it. Goes in off a scramble. I believe it was Dale Mitchell, but we'll likely have to take a close look at the replay just to see who did score that. Long ball by Fraser, then into the corner. It went over Crow's head, and Mitchell to Boosk, and I think it was Jens Boosk who scored. He'll get credit for the goal, and it is now 6-5 with a second left in the period. It'll be run off here as we kick off, but Boosk gets a big goal, his 3rd of the playoffs, from a scramble at the post. Ladouceur saying it was a handball, but it counts. And that is it for the end of 3 periods here at Kemper Arena in Kansas City, and the Comets come up with a big goal late. 6-5 San Diego, and you're watching the MISL on the Prime Ticket Network.
Minutes remain in game number 5 of this series. The Comets and the San Diego Sockers, and San Diego on top 6-5. I'm here with head coach Ron Newman. Very unfortunate there in the final second to allow a goal, something a team should never do.
Should never. We should have blocked the cross right from the beginning, but I told the players before the game that every little thing in this game is important. Every block, every tackle, every pass, and even that didn't look important, but it was. And they've let a very important goal in at the wrong time. But you know, you tell them, and they don't always listen, and they don't do their job.
Now the key, intensity, and also don't give up another penalty because their power play has been awesome.
Yeah, well, the penalties again are hurting us. I can't believe the George Katakalides thing, but we're defeating ourselves at the moment. All we got to do is to keep aggressive, and we can win this. We're a better side than they are.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, Randy.
Now, Ron Newman obviously is very much into this game. A look at the score by quarters for our Prime Ticket viewers. Pretty even up. Sockers' difference right now is the 1st period when they outscored the Comets 3-2. It's 6-5. 15 minutes left in the season for one of these teams. And Ron Newman right now is talking like he's behind. He says, we're beating ourselves. He still has a 1-goal lead. Sockers have been outscored 7-1 in the 4th quarter in this series. A little deceiving, perhaps, though, because the majority of that came in Game 3, when the Comets scored 7 second-half goals. Now we're set. Kansas City from the kickoff, and it's all down to 15 minutes, perhaps, for one of these teams. Here's Marhetti on the attack, and that goal really had to lift the Comets late in the period. 1 second left on the clock. And somehow, Jens Boos put it in. Segota sends the ball deep for Diego Pesha. But it's cleared back for Alan Mayer. We are a half minute into the fourth period here at Kemper Arena in Kansas City. Randy Hahn live along with Bill McDonald in Game 5 of this tremendous Western Division semifinal series. The winner plays Tacoma in Game 1 Friday night at the Tacoma Dome. Here's Jaramillo. He has one goal tonight. Kicked by Hermes, and that'll be a foul. First of the period against San Diego.
Tell you what a difference a second makes. Now you're back in the game. You got the momentum, the crowd, and you got to believe that Kansas City is going to get another one at some time.
Comets that time try a quick restart, but they whistle it back. This is a good free kick opportunity here. Marhetic right side from 25 feet off the wall, looking for Jaramillo. Knocked away, and Jaramillo gets called for the push on Clavillo.
I tell you also the difference about scoring that goal with just a second to go, and you get to go into the huddle with some confidence. If you're down by 2, you start questioning yourselves. Can we come back? It's 2 down. They're playing so very, very well. That's quite possibly the biggest goal in the history of this franchise if they can come and win the series.
Here's Pesha at the far side, tripped up by Fraser. No foul given, and they call it a dive. Schmetzer wins it back. Now Quinn at center looking for Segota. He's knocked off the ball. Here comes Clark, and the Comets look possessed. Clark shot blocked nicely by Schmetzer. They both get up staring at one another as it's played back for Zoltan Toth, and none of the intensity has left this game. If anything, it's become more intense as one of these teams' season ticks down. Here's Wilrich. Across the red line, almost straddling it. Looking for V. His pass knocked away by Espinoza. Gene still after it. Pushed out of the way by Goosens, and now Alan Mayer with possession with 13:23 left. Here's Cacho. Up the wing for Mitchell, pressured by Kevin Crow. And that goes out of play into the seats, and it'll come back Kansas City ball. Again, if the Sockers win, we will be back here on Friday night as Kevin Crow and the rest of the Sockers venture into Jungle's Jungle. Steve Jungle, the leading playoff scorer, and the Tacoma Stars will have had by that time an 8-day layoff, but Alan Hinton has been rather silent during that layoff. I saw in the Kansas City Star newspaper today he didn't really care who won this series.
I wonder.
I'll tell you, the guy selling tickets in Tacoma hopes the Sockers win. They'll have big crowds there, as that rivalry will be rekindled from a year ago when the Sockers and Tacoma met in the Western Division Finals.
Jungle versus Segota. That's top billboard.
Zoltan Toth with the ball now in the penalty area. Mitchell up the pressure. Zoli sends it to center for Julie V. And Julie sends it off the near glass. Dougherty chasing after it. And here's a bad pass back down. And shoots. Mayer to save. Oh, Dougherty may have been able to snuff out the Comets right there. I don't think he expected that. Here's Wilrich looking for Dougherty again. Knocked away. Here's a good counterattack. 3-on-2. Green with Mitchell at the far post. Up the middle. Toth to save. Good defense by Schmetzer coming from behind to harass Charlie Green. Here's Dougherty to center. Lost it again. Here comes Mitchell. Left side. Holding it now. Looking for the shot. Back heel to Green. Into the middle for Mitchell, and he missed a wide open chance. Here's Goossens a drive. That's off the post. Cleared by Schmetzer. And that's out of play. He tried to get it upfield. It'll come back in for the Comets.
The Goose trying to get a point. Almost, and actually did beat Zoli Toth that time. Hit the post. San Diego living dangerously. 9 saves tonight for Toth.
11:58 left. 6-5. San Diego leading. And the ball will be in the Comets' possession deep in the San Diego zone as Goossens and Mitchell go to the bench. Alan Mayer with 9 saves tonight. He's been busy, but right now the action's down at the other end.
2 missed opportunities. Doherty with almost a freebie, beaten one-on-one with Mayer, and then the other side, Goossens missing.
Marhetic looking far post for Fraser, and Clavillo kicks it out. This will be corner kick Comets. Clavillo was trying to bank it off that glass and just get it out of the zone, and he really got his weight behind it, but got under it a little bit too much, and it went out of play.
And you can see the smiles have returned now to the Comets. Ian Fraser, patting Pato Marhetic. They've got the confidence back. All due to that one goal at the end, and the Sox, they appear to be going back on their heels again.
Here's Marhetic in the corner now. Watch for Jaramillo in the penalty area. He may play it off the glass nearest to him, to his right. He'll look for that high glass, perhaps, and get it to Jaramillo. Now they get Goosens on. I was surprised he hadn't been on earlier. And now Hermes has his hands full with the leading scorer for the team, Goosens, at the left side. Marhetic gets it into Goosens, but he can't get a shot away. Comes back to Marhetic. Pato losing it to Quinn. Bryan trying to kick it out of there. Marhetic grabbed onto his jersey. Pato still with it. Shot blocked by Hermes, and what a big block that was. Here's Quinn trying to get it out of the zone. Lost it for a moment, but now Hermes has it. Works it back to the middle for number 14. V heads for the net as Quinn comes across the red line. Quinney still with it. Shoved by Boost. No foul. And they give it late.
Oh, very late. Gino Dippolito from about 80 feet away and behind the play. Called the foul on Boost.
I think he was waiting for Herb Silva, the other official, to call it. When he didn't get the call, he blew it down himself. Second foul, I'm sorry, against the Comets.
Quinney just doesn't have the quickness. Just doesn't have it. He's out there trying, and you got to give him all the credit in the world, but he's not the Quinn of MVP caliber of last year. But just his mere presence, as we've been mentioning, means so much.
Free kick from 50 feet. Quinn standing over it, drives it wide of the goal and over the head of V off the board. Yandar trying to settle it on the near wall, and he'll alertly kick it back toward his own goal. And Toth has it for San Diego. Comets with 2 fouls, San Diego with 1. Still reasonably early here in the fourth period with 11:10 left. Ball played back to Toth. Mitchell up to forecheck. Long pass to center for Segota. Bronco's so good at controlling the ball with his back to the defender. Chips it this time too far over the far glass. Trying to find Julie V, and this will come back in as Kansas City's ball with 10:59 to go.
You're going to see Bronco out on the field as much as he can endure, I believe, in this fourth quarter. You need your veterans out there. I think we'll see a lot of Julie V also. Players that are just so intelligent and smart and can handle the pressure. And that's, I think, the question that Kansas City has to answer. Are they a closer? Do they have that championship caliber?
They think they had it this year. Long ball into Mitchell. This is how the last goal was scored. Now a dangerous kick called by Herb Silva on Mitchell as he came up high with the right-footed kick and just about clipped Schmetzer. Bryan, coming off the injury, has really performed admirably tonight. He got some treatment partway through the game on that right hamstring, which bothered him for a long time. It was a bad hamstring pull, but he's played a full shift out there, and you have to think that his fitness wasn't top-notch. I'm surprised he's played as much and as long into the game as he has.
And then he tried to come back, and he also hurt his ankle. So he really had a double injury to come back off and played well.
Wilrich on the feed from Toth at midfield, double teamed by Mitchell to the forward coming back, and Collier. Wilrich still with it. Great job by Gene bringing it off the wall. Now he runs parallel across the zone and back to Schmetzer at center. That was a fine job getting away from the double team there by Wilrich. Played in left side for Segota. Kicked out by Clark. I thought it came off a fan's hand. It didn't. Here's Wilrich. Across the line. Shoots from way out, and Mayer will handle this one. Gene trying to drive it at the goal. He scored from that far out and beyond before. Didn't get all of that one. 10 minutes left. Soccer still with the lead. And now Ladouceur and Marhetic gets angled up. And Ladouceur seems to have got the worst of it. He's limping, and the Sockers pick up the foul. On the restart, played in deep to Goosens. He'll hold it there and wait for his teammates to catch up. Here's Marhetic left side. Taking on Ladouceur, beats him by a stride. Schmetzer, greatly timed tackle to strip it away from Pato Marhetic. Here's a long ball for Segota. Too far, Mayer way out of the goal, and he'll kick it out of play.
Bronco wants 2 minutes. You're not going to give a 2-minute penalty, however, there. Alan Mayer, absolute intent that time to kick it over and out.
No question. He hit that so hard that it would have easily have been 3 lines and more.
And if you go by the book, that's a 2-minute penalty.
But it's playoffs, and it's last quarter of playoffs in the last game.
No chance.
On the old Del Mar Cafe scoreboard, still 6-5 San Diego. The most goals they've scored in a game in this series was 7, and that was in the 9-7 loss. Here's Hermes, the star of game 1 with a hat trick, including the winner in overtime. To Quinn, up for Pasha now. Niego kicked from behind by Cacho. They'll make it Espinoza. Took a tumble. No foul. Back from the Comets. Here's Mitchell. Gets around Clavillo, but Fernando, with his legs sticking out after he'd been beaten, knocked it away. Here's Quinn with Pasha and Clavillo. Flying up the middle. Too late on the pass. And Quinn looks to be tiring out there a little bit.
He's forcing things. He's thinking too much. Not letting the instincts take over. And he really telegraphed at that time and slowed up before he could get rid of it.
Long ball played by Koutsoukis. He looks for Mitchell, gets a good bounce, and Hermes settles it down for Toth. Boy, good thing Zoli had an eye on that, or Hermes might have put it into his own goal. Back they come, the Sockers. Pasha Boncha trying to touch it at the goal. He's in on Mayer all alone at the side. Mayer came out, impeded Pace's progress. Now it's up the middle for Quinn. To Kevin Crow. Shoots off the wall. And Crow scored a big goal in Game 4. Had a great chance there, but he missed. Here's Arena at center now as the Comets are trying to come back in this one. 8:43 left. It's 6-5 San Diego. Here's Kutsukas with Jaramina. In front is Mitchell. The ball in front, taken away by Quinn, and settled down for Clavio. And the traffic clears as both teams make line changes.
8.5 to play. And you wonder when. It's got to go down to at least 2.5 minutes before 6 attacker time. So all kinds of time to even this thing up, Dave Clements is thinking. He's not going to make any mistakes early. And San Diego, you got to believe Sixers are going to win it. You want to get that 7.
Hermes and Toth killing some valuable time as far as Kansas City's concerned. And now Zoli, a good fake throw to the left, and he goes to the right to V. And Bonchek is able to recover. Alan Miller picks it up on the one-hop, quickly fires it to center. This is past Charlie Green, and Hermes back again to his goalkeeper, Toth. Sockers played around nicely in their own zone, and Hermes looks at the clock again, and at this point, it's probably not a bad idea in this situation to kill some time because the Comets just weren't sending anybody deep. Goossens was the only man up there pressuring. Now they get Green up there as well, but the Sockers are still able to play it back and forth between the defenders and Toth.
I think psychologically you start pressing when you see it get down to around the 5-minute mark.
Here's Hermes, left side for Segota. Bronco with a hat trick so far tonight. Up the middle, taken down, and a foul called against Cacho. That's their 4th, and it's a good free kick.
And that's important because as you creep towards that number 6, you get less aggressive. And when you're down a goal and facing elimination, you've got to get aggressive to get that ball.
Left side now, and Segota from 50 feet out has Hermes to his left. V standing inside the penalty area. Bronco settles it for Wilrich. It comes through to V, and Julie will, rather than try and turn and shoot, play it back for Segota. This is Hermes at the far boards, trying to take on Collier. Still with it, at the wall, Hermes toward the goal with Julie V. It spins away, and Hermes loses it there, but now it comes back through to V. Julie in front, and Collier able to get it back for Alan Mayer. Good turn there for Kansas City, as the Sockers, in essence, didn't end up with a good chance off the free kick. Here's Charlie Green at center now, with under 7 minutes. Ahead and knocked away by Segota. Look at the Sockers, everybody back on defense, nobody lagging upfield. Here's Goossens, left side, taking on Segota. Pushed to the wall by Bronco. Goossens still with it. Gets it inside for Jens Boost, who has a goal tonight. Now Clark around to the right point for Fraser. Fraser sent that long pass in for the goal late in the 3rd period. 6:29 remaining. Goossens trying to get rid of it to Green. Green knows Goossens close by, tries to get the ball back to him, but it's Ladouceur now out to Segota. Bronco to center for Quinn. The ball for Ladouceur, very alertly headed down by Tim Clark. He did a good job there getting that ball out of the air away from Quinn, and now Clark will bring it back upfield. Fighting with Ladouceur on his way to center, and a whistle and a foul against San Diego.
Clements rotating his big guns very well. Now he's got Jaramina and Mitchell out. Before you've got Marhetic and Goossens. Now he'll also bring Kutsukas out, so he's not throwing all his eggs in one basket.
Here's Kutsukas off the wall. The trailer, Mitchell was there, but Schmetzer right with him. Back on the counterattack. Quinn to the red line, loses it again. They've got to get Quinn some more rest. The shot blocked by Clavio. It's still alive to Mitchell. He'll play it off Fernando, and now Segota with a break. Collier comes off the long end of the bench as the only defender. Segota goes wide to the left, looking for the pass. He scores! Bronco Segota, what a tremendous individual effort. Makes it 7-5 with 5:38 left. On the Kobe Sports Arena Swap Meet scoreboard, Sockers 7, Comets 5. Back in a moment. Surrounded by water on beautiful Shelter Island in San Diego, the Kona Kai Beach and Tennis Resort offers an atmosphere enjoyed by families and business people alike. Relax by the pool underneath the Southern California sun or in one of the many comfortable suites. Located just minutes from the airport, the Kona Kai features 18,000 square feet of versatile meeting and banquet facilities. Enjoy breathtaking views of San Diego while dining in the restaurant adjacent to the marina. The Kona Kai Beach and Tennis Resort on beautiful Shelter Island in San Diego.
You know, most people think of me as a guy who knows a lot about the history of rock and roll. Well, we've all grown up with rock and roll. That's why when I'm in San Diego, for me, there's only one radio station that plays the best classic oldies, 69 Extra Gold. On 69 Extra Gold, their record library is so large that you'll never hear them play the same song twice on the same day. Listen to 69 Extra Gold, San Diego's original classic oldies station.
690 AM, 69 Extra Gold.
7-5, the Sockers lead. 5:38 left in regulation. Bronco Segota has had a tremendous game, Bill, and what an individual effort this was.
Watch this play. He's going up against two players, and this is just physical power, pushing off and presence of mind to just slip it under Alan Mayer. There is nobody in this game better than Segota. In the clutch, one-on-one, coming down like that. He now has 12 goals, 6 assists, and 6 career playoff games in Kansas City. That's his 7th goal in 3 games in this series. They're up 7-5.
And if the Sockers win tonight, we'll be in Tacoma Friday, live here on the simulcast, 7:30, Game 1 of the Best of 7 MISL Western Division Final. Game 2 would be Sunday, also live on the simulcast at 7:30. We are staying with the Sockers all the way through the playoffs. Games 3 and 4. If the Sockers win tonight, will be played at the San Diego Sports Arena a week tonight, and then Saturday the 30th. Call 278-8497 for tickets. They'll go on sale tomorrow morning at 10.
Charlie Green, the 6th attacker, so with 5:38 remaining, Dave Clements pulls his last card out of the deck. He's got to go for it right now.
Comets are not out of this game by any stretch of the imagination. They have come back goal after goal after goal tonight.
It's basically on the floor right now. They have their power play unit, which has been spectacular, plus a great player in Green.
They are the team in foul trouble right now with 4. San Diego has 3, and they'd like to keep it that way. Marhetic out to the left side. Here's Koutsoukis. He has a hat trick tonight. Winds up. It's off a defender, and it's outside the crease. It came off the wall and through and back out, and what a break for the Sockers. Namdar will head it to center, and it'll bounce out of play. Comets get the ball back with 5:05.
Boy, then Gene Wilwich took it at the far post and didn't know what to do with it. Didn't know whether to go back to Zoli or just clear it out. He did the smart thing, probably got it out, and then Clavillo cleared it. Here's the chance. It's going to go whistling past Zoltan Toth. That's a tough angle right there, but there it is behind if anybody's at that back post, and you expect to have somebody there in the 6th attacker situation. That's a goal.
Back to the live action. Here's Koutsoukis at his own red line. Out there with Marhetic. Green is the extra attacker. Mitchell, Goosens, and Jaramillo also out there, and the Kansas City net to our right is empty. 7-5 Sockers lead. Here's Mitchell. Double team by Schmetzer and Wilrich. Now they work it out to Koutsoukis left side. Shoots, far post, and Goosens can't harness that hard ball, and it goes out of play for Sockers' goal kick.
Well, there's the far post. And you know the ironic thing about it is San Diego trying to win the game, and they still have shut him out, Goosens. 49 games. Every game this year in which he has played, he has scored at least 1 point. And there you see him career versus San Diego in playoffs. 9 goals, 10 assists, 16 in 16 career playoff games, excuse me. So that's 19 points in 16 games. And the net open. San Diego has to be now controlled and composed. They shouldn't just shoot it down the field hoping it goes in. They've got to look for a good shot on that open net.
Zoltan Toth will play it out to Clavillo, get it back and pick up now and look downfield. Tony takes his time, rolls it forward for Segota. He's marked by Collier, and the ball will come loose to Gary, who pretty well read what Segota was going to do right there. Here's Charlie Green now as the Comets make some changes, and they get a less potent attack out there. Julie V tripping up Marhetic, but they gave advantage. Now here's Pato across the red line. Sockers late getting back on defense, but a great block by Segota as they tried to work it to Goosens on the right side. Here's Green to Goosens out of the corner. Front of the goal for Quinn. He'll intercept and chip it down the field and over 3 lines. And that was over by just a foot or so. 4:11 left. What a great game this has been.
Absolutely sensational. Zoltan Toth has thwarted many opportunities. Playing in back-to-back games, something that San Diego keepers rarely do, and double digits now in saves with 11. And boy, is he going to see that letter coming at him now in this last 4:11.
Well, I was part of a broadcast with you earlier this year when Jan Goosens was shut out by the Lasers until what, Mark, about the second or 2 seconds left in the game, but he still managed to get an empty net goal. He's been shut out tonight. That would be the first time all year if it stands up. Here's Koutsoukis out of the corner. Quinn marking him. Bryan throws a shoulder in now from the red line. Quinn sidestepping Marhetic from center. Quinn can't get the shot away, and the Comets will get it back. Here's Mitchell. He has Jaramillo in the penalty area. They've left him alone. Here's Demir Jaramillo, tripped up by Zoltan Toth. There's going to be a 2-minute power play. How could they leave Jaramina that open. Crow and Clavillo obviously miscommunicated there because Jaramina was all by himself.
And also, the Sockers were looking for that goal. They had V, Segota, and Quinn all past the midfield line. You got to think defense first. Here's Mitchell, and they're going to leave Jaramina alone. Zola does the only thing he can do. Come out. Now I got to trip you. I'm sorry, you're not going to get a freebie. Maybe we can cut some precious seconds off trying to kill this power play. 3:47 remaining. Still a 2-goal advantage. But this place will be rocking if they get one here.
Look where the free kick is. It's about 15 feet, 20 feet from the goal to the right. Goosens may just drive this right at the net. Toth wants to set the wall in front of him. Now Green steps over the ball. It won't be Goosens. Jaramina posted up top of the box. Boy, he's wide open right now again.
Super power play, 6-on-4.
Watch out for Jaramina. I think he's going to get it.
And Katsoukas, he's alone. Either one of them can drive it home right off the
Super power play. Sorry, Bill. 3:47 left. Kansas City net is empty. It's to Goosens through the box. Here's Jaramina. Shoots in the seats.
It's exactly what San Diego wanted. A chance to regroup.
So with 3:44 left, the Comets' power play will continue. So track meet, Jackie Joyner, Kersey, Valerie Briscoe, Greg Foster, and more. That's at 8:30. Here, there's 3:44 left. Sockers have the ball. Goal kick. They have a man in the penalty box, and the Comets' net is empty, so it's a super power play for Kansas City. Quinn will play it in, looking for Segota. Charlie Green gets back for Kansas City. Here come the Comets. Time running out on their season. Segota went to the wrong bench. Nearly walked into Kansas City's bench. Here's Marhetic striding past Namdar. They work the ball along the near boards. Clavillo brings it out, sends it to center. It's headed toward the net. It's spinning in toward the goal, and it's off the post.
That would have been the game right there. New life.
Here's Marhetic back to center. Still 7-5 San Diego. 1:20 left in this super power play for Kansas City. Marhetic up the middle. Lays it off to Katsoukas on the left foot. He's forced by Quinn back the other way. Quinney looking, has Namdar wide open at center. Here's Cha-Cha with the open net. He'll shoot and score! And with 2:51 left, the Sockers start making travel plans for Tacoma.
Oh boy, we may be looking at one of the great franchises in the history of sports, if not the greatest, at the way they can stave off elimination after elimination. San Diego on the brink of advancing. Here it is again. Super power play time, Kansas City. Katsoukas, who has been sensational, falls down. And Quinney, who's been struggling, gets it to Cha-Cha. He is not going to make a mistake. Going to go until the very last minute and put it right in as Charlie Green trying to catch up from behind. Couldn't make it. 2:51 to play, 8-5. So still a two-man advantage. So they're not out of the woods yet, but it certainly seems as though they can see the clearing.
That will count as a shorthanded goal for San Diego, so Namdar comes up with the 8th goal. The Sockers are having their biggest night of the playoffs in the biggest game of the playoffs, and isn't that their style?
You got to keep the intensity up.
Here's Namdar again looking for Kroll along the near wall. Kevin tripped from behind by Goosens, but they let play go on. The new extra attacker now for Kansas City is Fraser. Here's Marhetic with 2:35 left in the game. Pato up the middle. Looks to his left. Jaramina's wide open. Marhetic will shoot it right on goal. Zoltan with the save. And now Toth looking downfield. And with Fraser wearing that white jersey, it's confusing. He thought Fraser was a Socker.
I don't know why they have that or they're allowing it. Fraser has a grayish-white jersey on. And now Kansas City commits their 5th foul. So now they really have to lay back one more, and it is over because they'll put a man in the penalty box.
I'm very surprised that Ron Newman is not complaining about Fraser wearing that white jersey. Now Fraser comes back out with 2:09 left. We'll be here with game 1 of the finals if the Sockers win tonight. Katsoukas a drive, and that's off of who? It's off Kevin Crow out of play.
Oh, I thought it went off of Mitchell.
I did too, but it'll come back in Kansas City ball, and their season's not over yet. Still 2:02 left, but they're 3 down, and I'll tell you what, the Sockers are a poised group in these big games as they've shown tonight, and it's going to take a whole different kind of game for the Comets to come back now than they've played tonight.
There's your look at Ian Fraser, the 6th attacker, and there's that uniform on if you're watching us on the simulcast. It's very similar, of course, to that San Diego uniform, and you can see why, as Randy was mentioning, Zoli Toth thought that he was part of the Sockers. And now Charlie Green comes back.
Well, now he's got that green jersey on, so it'll be a little more A little easier to pick him out, but he kind of blends in with the field now. They've got it covered both ways. It's I don't know if it's deliberate, but if it is, it's a great idea. Out of the corner, Mitchell. For Kutsukas, his drive out of play, and the Comets can't do anything right here when it matters most.
And right now, San Diego will have the kick, plus in 12 seconds, Pesa will come out of the penalty box.
Our next game, it looks like now, will be Friday. Game 1 from the Tacoma Dome. Jungle and the Stars against Segota and the Sockers. 7:30, our live simulcast here on the Prime Ticket Network and on 69 Extra Gold. Ron Newman has to be very happy right now. What happened just before the half with Katakalitis was disappointing, but his team has rebounded. Cacho now with a shot out of play, and the Comets are kicking everything into the crowd.
And the Sockers trying to become only the second team in MISL history to come back in a 5-game set from a 2-1 deficit. Cleveland did it in 1986 last year, defeating Baltimore 3-2, and what a great year. And I mean a spectacular year it's been for Kansas City the second half of the season. And I'll tell you, the long faces, and you can understand why, because Dave Clements has turned this team around, and as it appears they're going to lose. They really thought they had San Diego. They had them where they wanted them. 2-1 down, playing well, but they just weren't the championship closers that they thought they were.
They say the Sockers are best when they're cornered.
Oh, boy.
They come out like a wounded animal.
I don't think they're going to spot Tacoma 3 games.
Here's Segota with Clavillo. And ball played off the near wall. This game and this series is very important for the Sockers in another regard, and that is that this team, by going into the second round of the playoffs, we're told, will turn a profit for the first time in its history. And in a sport, as in the case with most sports, it's difficult to turn a profit, but this may just do it for San Diego. Ball right on goal by Goosens. He's been shut down tonight. Toth will pick it up, roll it ahead for Quinn. Wouldn't it be poetic justice for the Sockers if they shut out Goosens in the final game of the year?
First time all year. He's gone 49 in succession.
Here's Namdar. Deep, plays it across for Wilrich. Open net. Gene elects not to shoot, and it's taken away by Mitchell with 1:04 to go. And now 1 minute left in the season for the Kansas City Comets. And what a long way they've come, baby, from a team last year that didn't make the playoffs this year to within a game of the finals. And they really made strides toward next season. It could have been a real disappointing year after their start, but after the coaching change, they came back to respectability to finish second in the West. Green retreating back toward his own goal now, and time running out.
And what about the effort of Bronco Segota? Absolutely unbelievable tonight in the clutch, the star of San Diego, and I really don't think there is any other star of the game but Bronco Segota.
And here he is again on the way to his 5th goal if he can get the shot off, and it's in. 5 goals for Bronco Segota. The Sockers will win it 9-5, and they're out to congratulate Segota again. What an effort by Bronco. That one an open net, but this was Bronco's night.
I'll tell you what. We talked to Bronco at the half. What do you think we talked to him after the game, too?
I think he's, without question, the star of the game. I think the star of the series, because when he came back in Game 3, even though the Sockers lost that 9-7, they were a brand-new-looking team, particularly offensively.
5 goals, and here's the 5th one. All alone, coming down, Pato Marhetic. Just giving a token effort there at the end, and Bronco just buries it from about 40 feet left side, and this crowd deathly silent, filing into the night. And San Diego on their way to battle. Many people think the heir apparent. They're tough up north. Tacoma. It's going to be an unbelievable series. And now, in a great gesture, this team, a standing ovation for this team. These fans here at Kemper Arena for a great year in Kansas City.
It has been a great year here for the fans. Comets had an 11-game winning streak at one point in their season. Here's Collier, last chance time as time runs down. Bonchek a shot. Toth with the save. He'll try and score from there. Tosses it downfield. The game, the series are over. And the season goes on for the San Diego Sockers as their strive and quest for a joy at 6. A 6th straight championship continues. An absolutely unbelievable performance tonight by Segota, by the entire Sockers team. And the players traditionally out now to shake each other's hand. There's been a lot of emotion in this series, not only between the two teams, even between some of the players on their own teams. But right now, everybody's happy in a white jersey, and the fellows in the blue, the Kansas City Comets, cannot believe it. The Sockers advance to the finals. The Tacoma Stars await. We will have that Friday, Game 1 live at 7:30. Stay with us. We have much more to come here from Kemper Arena, our post-game show, when we will again visit with Bronco Segota. 5 goals tonight, the star of the game, the star of the series, and even though he missed the first 2 games, trying to catch up to his old friend Steve Jungle. 9-5, the final. The Sockers win it. You're watching the MISL. Randy Hahn back live here at Kemper Arena in Kansas City. The climactic final to a tremendous series between these rivals who battled 6 times in the regular season, 5 more in the playoffs. 9-5 the final as the Sockers move on, and the Kansas City Comets tonight and for a while will be saddened, but they have a lot to be happy about. It was a tremendous finish to their season after such a slow start. Our Old Cafe star of the game, without a doubt, Bronco Segota. 6 points, 5 goals, and an assist. His 4th career playoff hat trick in the MISL. He didn't do it all tonight, but he just about did it all. A tremendous performance by number 20. He'll be with us on our post-game show. And don't forget, our next game, Game 1 of the now best-of-7 series, the Western Division Final. The Sockers against their bitter rivals, the Tacoma Stars. Game 1 Friday, live here on the simulcast. Prime ticket and 69 extra gold at 7:30 from what may in fact be a sold-out Tacoma Dome come Friday. And then Sunday, Game 2 to follow. Well, we're almost out of superlatives to talk about the Sockers' performance in this game. They never trailed. They took the lead from the 128-minute mark and made it stand up. Oh, yes, the Comets came back and tied it time after time. The Sockers had to endure a terrible 5-minute penalty to George Katakalidis, which left them shorthanded for some 3 minutes. They gave up a power play goal, and it looked like the Comets were coming back in the second half. But the Sockers, the champions they are, played a poised, aggressive, and very smart final 30 minutes of this soccer game. And they're on their way to the finals. And we're on our way to Tacoma. But first, our post-game show. That's coming up next here on the... Back at Kemper Arena in Kansas City. The game and the series are over. The final score, San Diego 9, Kansas City 5, as the Sockers take the best-of-5 Western Division semifinal, 3-2. Hello again, everyone. I'm Randy Hahn, and welcome back to Kemper Arena in Kansas City. And if you're a fan of the San Diego Sockers, this is indeed a very happy night for you, as it is for the entire team, down 2-1 in this series after a very disheartening loss at home when they led by 3 goals twice in Game 3 and lost 9-7. Then the clutch win at home just a couple of nights ago to force this 5th game, and tonight an absolutely tremendous team performance, but one man stood out more than the rest, without a doubt. Number 20, Bronco Segota, the player of the game, and he is with our Bill McDonald. Bill?
It's becoming a habit. Bronco Segota alongside, and Bronco, I guess that's what you call winning time there at the end. That's what champions are made of.
Well, as we said in San Diego, you know, we play the best when our backs are against the wall, and we knew there was going to be a lot of pressure on them, and we got on the board quicker than they did, and we managed to control the game for most of the time, and we got the breaks, we had penalties, we killed them, and we just had enough at the end to bury them.
A little bit, maybe a lot of nervousness, apprehension after the Comets scored that goal with just 1 second to go in the 3rd quarter, and at that point, boy, things were looking tough.
Well, it was... we were still ahead. We were thinking,
right,
you know, we're still ahead. They still have to come back, and we're thinking about the other game, and we tried to get that out of our minds and play strong, and, you know, we got a good break, and we scored on it and kind of put them away again.
Okay, 5 goals tonight for Bronco, 6 points overall, but I think 1 goal really stands out, and it put the Comets to bed and put San Diego into the next series. It was your 4th goal of the evening, and it put the Sockers up 7-5. Why don't you tell us about it?
Well, Fernando played me the ball, and he's coming with me, and I see Gary Collier coming, and then I glanced over and I saw the other guy, and I committed them right there. I committed them both, and I just try to hold the ball, and I see Fernando. I want to play him the ball, but it just slid under Alan Mayer's hand, and it was in the net.
So in other words, you were almost trying to just play it to Fernando and not even get it in on goal.
I seen him coming, you know, from behind, and I tried to handcuff the 2 defenders, and it worked, and it just, you know, my luck, it went under Allen's hand and into the net.
All right, a great series history now. A fantastic 5 games with Kansas City. Next, Tacoma, and your good buddy Steve Jungle. Boy, this is going to be a good one.
Oh, it's going to be fantastic. we're going to get at each other, and we're going to play well, and we're going to really put on a big show.
Now, what about the war of words, not only with the players but the coaches? I think Alan Hinton and Ron Newman will have a few barbs going at it here before game number 1.
I think they'll set the stage for everything, and I think it's two strong teams playing against each other. You know, Tacoma defeated Wichita very willingly, and we came back from this from the dead, and we managed to hold on and win this one, and now it's going to be the final of our division.
I think you're going to have some confidence going in because actually with a lot of players out of the lineup, you played Tacoma very well towards the end of the year.
Yes, we did. We managed to keep them under like 3-4 goals, and we were practically, our whole front line was out, you know, our top scorers, and we played them very closely, and, you know, now we have almost everybody back, and it's going to be a very tough series.
All right, Bronco, just a Superman effort here tonight. 5 goals once again. Our congratulations, and we'll see you in Tacoma.
Thank you.
All right, Bronco Segota has been our Old Cafe star of the game. Boy, he's got a lot of these dinners for 2, and he's going to receive dinner for 2 at any of the old cafes at Ocean, Pacific, or Mission Beach, or, of course, the old Del Mar Cafe. And don't forget, tickets going on sale tomorrow for that Tacoma series. We're talking about games 3 and 4 to be played next Wednesday and Saturday. You can call 619-278-8497 for ticket information. That's the next playoff series. All right, Sockers win tonight, 9-5. Back with more on the postgame show in a moment.
These games, I've been part of 4 championship seasons. I don't know if they've run out of magic. They seem to keep squeezing drops out of the reservoir.
It's a pleasure to watch this team. And as I mentioned, I don't know if there's been a franchise like this in sports, ever, really. And it's too bad a lot of the country may not know about the San Diego soccer team going after their 6th indoor title in a row, because on the brink of elimination for 2 games, they come back in a hostile environment here in Kansas City with some players just coming back off of injuries. Just a great effort.
And, you know, we pointed it out early in the broadcast, but they were without a real top-notch player, Hugo Perez, who had come back in the early parts of this series and was just starting to get his form back when he was injured in Game 4 at San Diego. Now they've got a couple of days to rest him up for Tacoma, and they may, in fact, go into that series with a full contingent.
And it goes up a notch. As good as Kansas City was, Tacoma's just that much better. Of course, the best record in the MISL this past year. They're going to need Hugo Perez. They're going to need everybody ready to go, healthy for game number 1 on Friday.
It's the dream series, the one people talked about at the beginning of the year. They said it would come down to Tacoma and San Diego, and it has. Let's check the individual scoring. First for the Kansas City Comets. They had a great first half. Katsukas had a great first half, a hat trick.
Yeah, he wore the big sombrero, as we mentioned, in the first half, and he was doing everything, and he was everywhere. Jaramina and Jens Busk also scoring for Kansas City. Then you look at the Sockers, and what jumps out at you? But Bronco Segota with 5, and a big goal, I think, was Niego Pesa's, that 5th goal. Oh, boy, that was a big one. Julie V contributed in that first half of action, and then Cha-Cha Namdar into an empty net. Final stats, it was pretty even at halftime. Let's see how it ended up. Comets actually outshot San Diego by a 27-20 margin. You look at the blocks, San Diego defenders doing a great job. 11 blocks to help out Zoltan Toth. Zoli made 11 saves. Alan Mayer with 9 saves. And, of course, the power plays, but mostly the story in the power play was in the first half.
And a lot of penalty minutes again, a total of 19 in this game. They finished the series with well over 60. It was a physical series and a lot of penalty minutes, and the Sockers picked up 2 red cards. But I don't think that they finished this series with any bad blood, really, between themselves and the Kansas City Comets, because this final game was rather definitive. The Sockers just did outplay Kansas City, all the shenanigans aside.
All the shenanigans out, and one thing we have to bring up one more time before we go off, Jan Goossens, 49 games in a row this year. We're talking regular season and playoffs, had scored at least a point in all those games. The Sockers shut them out tonight.
Indeed they did, and what poetic justice to do it in the final game of the year for Jan Goossens. A disappointing night for he and the Comets. But the Sockers are on their way to the Pacific Northwest. They won't even go home. It's straight to Tacoma tomorrow. Game 1. Here on Prime Ticket and on the simulcast with 69 Extra Gold. This Friday night, the 22nd, 7:30, live Pacific Daylight Time from the Tacoma Dome. They are going to be wild up there. They've had 8 days off since their last game, the clinching game against Wichita. They're rested, healthy. Precky's back after an injury in that series, and it's going to be just a great, great best-of-7 Western Division final. Once again, the final score tonight, San Diego 9, Kansas City 5. The Sockers are in the Western Division finals. For our producer, Tom Fick, our director, Larry Myers, and our crew here at Kemper Arena in Kansas City, Randy Hahn for Bill McDonald saying good night from Missouri.